Hey, Kristen, how's it tracking?
With Carvana Value Tracker.
What else?
Oh, it's tracking. In fact, Value Surge Alert trucks up 2.5%. Vans down 1.7%.
Just as predicted.
Mm-hmm.
So, we gonna...
I don't know. Could sell, could hold.
The power to always know our car's worth.
Exhilarating, isn't it?
Tracking.
Always know your car's worth with Carvana Value Tracker.
Meta AI is the personal AI to help you with whatever you need. Plus, it meets you where you are. Not only is Meta AI now an app, but it's also on the apps you already know and love. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Plus the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. It's easy to access wherever you are. So whether you're talking or texting, Meta AI is convenient to use throughout your day. Experience our newest AI that's tailored to you by downloading the Meta AI app. Try the Meta AI app today on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
In golf, precision is everything, on and off the course. PGA of America chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business for smooth operations and seamless transactions. Together, we enhance ticketing and concessions for better fan experiences from gate to green. This is pro-level efficiency. This is PGA of America with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
This episode is brought to you by Blue Alien Fox, Alpaca Lips, Kayawera, Kethri, Muco, DJ Rink, Macbeth, Pylon Dyke, Himaltu Raven, Nibris, Devon Harkenrider, and Glithoric.
Episode 1, Sins of the Soul, Part 2. Deep beneath the world of you and I, there's a darkness there where truth must hide. Long shadows cover what I wish to see, to find the best of honesty. But should I look? Will it deceive? Will it change who I am or what I believe? Did I cause the gloom that stretches wide? Do I quench the light with what's inside? And when I finally see the sun, when I burst loose from what I've done, will the rays pour down upon my skin and forgive the sins I hold within? Or am I doomed for this lost moment, an endless fight with past opponent, cursed to pound with foot and fist until there's nothing left of this?
This thing I've become that drowns in self-indulgent songs with violins and endless drums and drags me back to where I belong.
Oh, love it. Oh, I got goosebumps in the legs this time as well.
In the legs?
Oh no, I
just
got
get
leg
them on my
goosebumps.
arms, and then today it was arms and legs.
Have we done that before? We've only ever had arm
Only
bumps.
ever arms.
That's a big deal. That's something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. Welcome to the Girls Who Don't D&D podcast and part 2 of our first episode of our second campaign. Now that we've moved to a fortnightly show, we have changed the structure a little bit. So one of those things is there's a monologue at the start. Sometimes it'll be a story. Sometimes it'll be a poem. Many people, and I say many because it is actually more than, I'm not just saying it this time, have asked me to release the poems that I tell you at the start of each episode. So I have kind of started trying to do that. I've started to collect them. There's a lot of other stuff going on, but maybe a book of poems for Dungeon Masters might be coming out sometime.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's a great idea. And as with all books that come from our show, they will read them out. Like you will open the book and it will read it to you.
That will not be occurring. I mean, there's audiobooks, of
I was
course.
going to say, audiobooks exist, Corey. We can make this happen.
It won't be just because you open the book, though.
Could be.
I mean, I'd love
And
that.
yeah, those birthday
do it
cards that
digitally.
when you open them, they sing a song.
Yeah, do better, Corey. That sounds great.
I think we can engineer this.
Why
Genius.
does Corey do better? What do you got? When's your book come out?
Yeah.
But anyway, as I said, don't expect this anytime soon, or theirs clearly. We'll see what happens when I throw things together. If you're a member of our Patreon, obviously you'll find that information on there, or you can get onto our Instagram and see what's going on with that as well. Maybe we can do some artwork for it.
Ooh.
Do like art. With me, as always, is...
Indy playing Roo.
Stacey playing Thistle.
Lana playing Biddy.
Let's get our shout-outs out of the way really quickly because the show needs to roll on.
Correct.
Yes, it does.
I'm going to shout out Travis S., who is supporting us through our Patreon, and he's in our Void tier. So jump along if you want to listen to more of our show with some new girls. That sounds a bit weird. With some like
new, fresh, young hot girls. He's actually just replaced all of us with younger models.
You're in it. But I mean, if you type into Google fresh models, I'm sure you'll find it straight away. Please don't do that.
I've got Rachel F. from our shout out pool on Patreon. And as always, thank you so much for your support and like a few years of support at this point.
That's
so thank you.
So appreciated. Without you guys, we wouldn't be where we are. We would have not had the money to do what we're doing.
No, it'd be done.
It costs a lot of money just to have like the music in the background and all that sort of stuff actually does dig in. And now that I've used pretty much the entire internet's music, I have to keep looking for new subscriptions all the time. So the first series, I used music as if I was never ever going to do this again.
You started taking guitar lessons, haven't you?
Oh, I wish I could. I wish I have zero skills with musical instruments.
Yeah.
Coop picks up a guitar and just runs his finger over it, and it sounds like he plays a chord automatically.
Yeah.
Lana.
This is from our Void shout out pool. I have Hattori S. Thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate it.
Ladies, new campaign, new characters. So tell me, what did you consider when creating your new characters? And were you initially worried that you did it all for nothing because I started the campaign with your old characters for a bit? Did you think that I'd screwed you over?
No, I knew you had a plan.
I always have a plan. And you always have a way of ruining those plans.
You don't waste our time like that.
No, I don't like wasting people's time.
No.
This is why I've hated for years going to meetings.
Oh, meetings don't even
Especially
fucking
when they
start
can be
me.
an email.
I was like, for some reason in my car yesterday, and I just started to get like irrationally angry about all the meetings I've ever been into that I didn't really need to be at, or that none of us needed to be at. And I don't know why it just popped in my head, and I was like, I'm fucking livid.
There are times when and I don't have to do them anymore, but I used to have to go into meetings and I would be sitting there thinking, this is how I know I'm already dead. I've died. This is hell.
This is hell, yeah.
Because hell is just me sitting there going, are you sure I should be here? Are you sure I can't do almost anything else on the planet than this? No, just sit and listen to the PowerPoint I'm reading to you. So, what did you do when you made up these characters? Indy, let's start with you because you look like you've been stunned by headlights.
Yeah, well, I just thought I better be better than the last character that I was.
Your last character was awesome. I designed it.
Yeah, no, but I
And it
think
was based on you.
my touch.
Morally?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
just
right.
slightly better. I was like, maybe like I should play something a little bit conscious of their decisions.
That disappoints me.
And that was basically it. And looks. I just went off looks. I was like,
You picked a ranger. How did you pick that?
with Lana's help, I used.
Sorry. Lana, how did you pick that?
No, so Indy was panicking and we were getting closer to like playing the game and she's like, I just don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, well, here's what I did. And I came across this website that had like each of the different classes and species, and basically when you clicked into them, it like color coded and explained it
So
different
like
things.
the book, but online.
Yes.
Yeah, but like searchable and
Like an index.
yeah. So I ended up directing.
God, they should put those in books.
I ended up
Now there's an idea.
Anyway, back to you.
searchable, like contained small information. Anyway, I directed Indy there, and I think that ended up being helpful.
Yeah, I just spent half an hour flicking through and I was like, oh, this looks good. I like
That's
this
pretty
part.
much how most people do it, I think. Some people, I guess, really get in, get the details out. But I reckon when you start, you just want to pick something you find cool.
There's a lot of information out there as well. So trying to sift through that and filter that. And when I was creating the character sheet, there's so much I didn't know. Like there's still some blank spots.
Yeah,
Because I was like, I'm not really sure, but it's a lot of Googling, but that's fine.
absolutely. Stace, what did you think of?
I went back to my teenage self, and I modeled.
you playing your teenage self?
I'm playing my teenage self.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that. That could be a whole different kettle of fish for me to
No,
deal
don't.
with.
It's like it's only in aesthetics.
Okay.
Okay, so like when I was around like 15, 16, I was obsessed with fairies. I was obsessed with gothic looking fairies. I wanted a big fairy tattoo, which I didn't get, obviously. I had butterfly fucking jewelry. Like I just loved it. I grew out of it. But clearly, if you're
Kinda.
looking at me right now, kind of. But I kind of want to give, teenage gothic Stacey the dream of being a fairy and having magic, and also being that kind of little gothic tortured. She thought she was tortured. 15, 16-year-old Stacey loved Linkin Park and every song was about her. I just wanted to see her play out.
How do they know my life story in every
Like,
song?
oh my God. It's like they've been, yes, the pendulum is swinging.
The pendulum swings, but only towards me. Lana, what did you do?
I really am tired of rolling so poorly. The website I was talking about that I directed Indy to helped me figure out that halflings have this feat inbuilt where you can re-roll all D20 rolls that are a 1.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, sweet, that is the base of
That
my...
is so smart.
I was like, I don't want to keep rolling ones all of the time. And it's only D20s, but still that's something.
Wait.
They have a lucky feat, like built into their
Halflings have a lucky
species.
thing.
That is cool.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I would clap if I was allowed to
You're
clap.
not allowed to clap. That does mean I'll have to come up with a counter to that. And my counter is fairly simple. I'm going to have a lot of things on higher level shelves.
Yeah, okay.
Going to put things up high out of your reach all the time.
I did think that through. But then in terms of like other stuff, I wanted to do a character that wasn't just me. I want to have a go at role playing a little bit. My character is partially inspired by Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender, who is like this wise old goofy grandpa kind of figure who is also like buff as fuck and will kick your ass. Backstory wise and other little details inspired by my nan who passed away.
Very nice to give the
That's
homage.
so sweet.
Yeah, so that's part of the reason playing an older character. And
that's beautiful.
that's why she has a paintbrush in her hair, in her design.
Oh,
Because my nan was an artist.
Oh my gosh, was she?
That's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I got more goosebumps.
Yeah.
But only arm goosebumps this time. I want to make the separation. Wait, she's got neck goosebumps. It's full body goosebumps. All right. Well, we might find out a little bit more about those backstories in this episode. We'll find out soon. But in the meantime, when we left our story, the girls had escaped from a prison for gods, only to find themselves back in Kaylee and inside new hosts, Biddy, Rue, and Thistle. They were quick to discover that they were still being held accountable for promises made in the past. And to best address that, they made further promises in the present. They each aligned themselves with new gods by selecting different tattoos while aboard the celestial prison, where they also made a deal to bring someone or something back to life as soon as they have the capacity to do so. I'm sure that won't be a problem. And then, upon arriving back in Kaylee, they collected yet another side mission whereby they are to deliver an unmarked package to a city in the north with a complicated name. So, what promise did they make in times gone by? They promised to break into some sort of vault and get something out. And that's about as much as they know. Now they find themselves heading north to a lake beneath a mountain, sent there by a husband from the past who, perhaps cheekily, pronounced the name of a secret code word in a way the girls weren't used to. What was that password, girls?
Gouda.
Gouda. Excellent. Now, having secured passage north on a giant inchworm which carried with carriages on its back, the girls are now uncomfortably making their way through a forest at night, hoping to reach their destination by dawn.
Hi everyone, it's me, Sam, back to give you recaps for everything you need to know that is a secret to the girls, or that Corey doesn't want to remind them of. So far, it isn't much. The girls have received some books to help them navigate the many intricate aspects of Kaylee, so they'll probably forget about those quite early on. Remember, all they have to do is ask. They also didn't ask anything about those mysterious magical type people with special magical type rings and their magical looking robes, or why the city of Inyathlonora, a place they have seen before, was in such disarray. And of course, they absolutely don't know about that tiny, insignificant rock they shunted with the giant space prison boat thing. Anyway, let's see what happens next.
Ladies, are you ready to play?
Yeah.
It's just 3 girls, a dragon, and a handful of dice. Some guys telling stories, I'm sure they'll be nice. There will be monsters, and magic, and fire and ice. But it's mostly 3 girls, a dragon, and dice.
Now, ladies, you do have time for a long rest while aboard the Inchworm. Of course, that's a pretty boring way to start a podcast. So instead, I thought this might be a good time to learn a bit about your backstories. I'm borrowing a mechanic from our Patreon show called The Void, where we use a deck of cards to learn about the past of your characters, and to assign them skills and powers. And I'm kind of doing the same here. No pressure, but the best story will be rewarded.
Ooh.
It's competition.
With what?
Present?
I don't know. I can't say that until I know who wins.
Okay.
Is it going to be one of those lame things where you're like, the reward is the sense that you're better than others or that you've won? Or
That's a horrible reward.
I can't remember the wording. You know what I mean?
The glory of winning or something like that.
Glory or pride.
No, none of those sort of things.
Okay.
Now, it would be a little bit too meta for me just to say, here's the card and all that sort of stuff. So let me paint you a picture of how this plays out. The inside of the carriage and the back of the inchworm is rather spacious. You have been placed in a mid-range carriage, premium economy, which places you just below the Royal Chalice class, the Titanium class, and the Arcana class, but above the legally obliged poverty cabin. Your carriage has 4 plush seats with the bare minimum legroom for healthy seating, which means that the one below you has less than the bare minimum. And yes, this is my rant about economy. There is a fold-out table which has already been conveniently outfolded, and on it there are some pre-packaged biscuits, a vomit bag for some of the rougher bumps, as this is indeed an inchworm, and every few seconds you are being lifted and dropped again as it crawls along. You'll also find some peanuts and a worn deck of cards labelled Icebreakers. I don't know if you've ever seen any of those games where they have cards and they just ask you questions. It's sort of like that. It's a long journey, and I'm giving you the long rest for free. You will get time to have an actual sleep. You don't really need it yet because you haven't really done much. So, how about we check out those cards?
Yes.
Okay, so this deck of cards just has little things that ask questions about, it could be what's your favorite pizza topping and all those sort of things, but sometimes they're a bit more detailed and might ask you what's an important moment from your childhood or something like that. Now, the cards that you've been given have sentence starters, and some of those are easier to use than others. I'm going to let you pick from one of those cards, and then you get to tell us a little bit about yourself. Who would like to go first?
Okay, so we just pick one.
Yeah.
I'm happy to give it a go. I don't know how good it's going to be, but we'll see.
Oh, it's like an icebreaker.
Yeah, it is.
Actually really nervous about talking about yourself. Rue picks up a card and says, oh, this is from what time period?
Death. So obviously I'm not dead, but it was when I was close to death.
Oh, so the question might have been something like, what time in your life was most terrifying? Or okay.
Yeah. So I've come from quite a poor family in a rich part of town, and growing up, that has kind of instilled that there has been differences between people based on wealth, and I never really liked that because I saw my family struggle and I saw people cruise through life with ease. One of my goals was to always try and have a Robin Hood mentality, steal from the rich and give to the poor.
I love it.
And in a time where I was taking from a family to give to another, I was caught and captured and punished for that. But after the punishment, a mouseling that I crossed paths with healed me along the way. And I still don't know who that was.
Their name was Saban. At least, that's what they went by. Their full name had been forgotten, which is easier to do than you may think. Some forget their name due to illness, others to history, and some by choice. But for Saban, it was for safety. On the day they found Rue carelessly banging on Death's door, they had also discovered a ring on Rue's finger, which they had also taken as payment for services provided. Without asking, of course. It was a bad idea.
They just passed me, healed me, and then I was on my way, and so were they.
A passing mouseling.
A passing mouseling.
Sounds like a story in itself, doesn't it?
It does.
I love that so much.
And that's been like a pivotal moment because I will never forget that. I was so close to death.
Do you know the name of the family, or do I get to make that up?
You can make that up.
Who'd like to go next?
Okay. I'm told when I was born, I was given a unique magical amulet by nobody knows. It was left. No. My parents had gone to bed, and in the morning when they had come for me, it was left by my crib in a really intricate carved box. And when it was opened, it was a note to me. Never said from who. It never said what it did, but it said, wear it always. You'll know what to do with it when the time comes. And that amulet is a butterfly.
Right.
It's an intricately, almost Celtic looking butterfly. And in the center of it is a giant emerald. Not a giant emerald, almost like a pear-shaped emerald that kind of centers it together with the intricate butterfly wings around it. Even though my parents were skeptical, they put it on me anyway. And strangely enough, it was the right size for a little baby neck.
Yeah.
But as I grew older, it kind of just kept growing with me. When they put it on me, it kind of magically linked and never came off. And they were worried But as I got older,
But in a world of magic, people would be less worried about things
They
than
were
we are as
kinda
parents.
like,
We'd be
huh.
it's just magic.
like, you know, we're fairies. So we kind of like, we thought it was all good vibes.
Of course they were. The hand that rocked the cradle was more of a paw, and it struggled to hold the tiny amulet in its enormous grasp. A creature of this size was probably the wrong choice for the delivery, but old habits die hard. The paw fumbled to open the carved box, and as carefully as it could, placed the trinket inside with a simple note. The paw's owner had so desperately wanted to sign just one letter at the bottom, but even that might have been too much, and made it just a bit too easy for those who would one day search for the sleeping child with dark intent.
We do believe it's still good vibes because it's kind of grown with me every time
But it hasn't done its thing yet.
but it hasn't done its thing yet.
And it might not, for all we know.
It might not ever.
Interesting.
Or it might.
Or it might.
It's a unique amulet. That was my sentence starter. And that's what I wanted.
Alana.
As I said, my character's kind of inspired by a range of things, including my own family. So I have like a notes page with some background planning and stuff.
It's bedtime, so they only need a small paragraph.
It's too late. All right.
Chapter 1.
So I've picked one of the middle age cards, and my sentence starter is, this reminds me of the time I made cookies for.
Oh.
So this reminds me of the time I made cookies for my 7 children. And my youngest, Fiara, she was definitely the boldest of my brood. She thought she'd outsmart me and climb the pantry for the honey biscuits I'd hidden up top because they were cooling.
Right.
They weren't ready yet. And she was a smart lass, but she had terrible balance. I remember walking to the kitchen just in time to see her hanging off the top shelf like a goblin on a curtain rod, eyes wide, flour falling like snow all around her. And the whole thing like collapsed in slow motion. Jars clattering, sugar exploding, biscuits raining down like sweet little grenades. She's covered in flour and sugar, and the cookies are spread on the floor everywhere. And she asked me if I'm going to throw the pan at her.
Curiously, Biddy had not intended to be a host for gods. She had gifted that honour to one of her many daughters who, like so many others, was once named for the god to whom they were devoted. But the child grew apart from the choice, as Biddy grew towards it. Strangely though, she had not told her children of the change, and now the first of those daughters was banging on the door of her mother's home, wondering why she wasn't there.
So everyone is welcome to have a bit of a sleep. These seats don't fold out into full beds, but lean back a little bit, and you can have a rest if you would like. I mean, you can stay up all night and look out the window. It's up to you.
No, I'm gonna have a little rest.
Do we need a rest? Yeah, we'll have a
Well,
rest.
most people don't stay up all night.
Yeah.
It's a lovely view until it goes dark, and then it's just black.
I'm going to get something from the cart though.
When did this cart get invented? There were just biscuits on the table and some peanuts.
I'm going to eat them.
Biddy hears your tummy rumble, and she's always carrying snacks. And she's like, "Oh dearie, did you not eat before we left?" And she hands you opens up a bag, and she's got cookies, she's got snacks, she's got scones, like so many options
I
for
love
you.
that.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
Did everyone sleep?
Yes.
Everyone's sleeping? That makes sense. You've had a bit of a meal.
I think so.
You got a full belly.
Scones and a nap.
When you wake in the morning, you wish you'd set some kind of alarm. The cabin is being thrown around violently, and there is a screeching sound coming from the skies, almost like laughter at times. You may remember you were told.
Not to travel it.
Oh no, the bird. It's come to get the worm.
That's precisely what's happening, yeah.
I know, I'm just
It's a big worm,
saying
so
it aloud and and then like feeling my feelings about it.
yeah.
And I just did also realize this is a giant worm, which means that's a giant bird. And then I'm also kind of like worried about the worm and like it drying out in the sun.
Yeah, what was the? Were we given care instructions for what to do with it during the day when we're not using it?
No one gave us any care instructions at all.
The inchworm is not moving forward, it's just flailing about. Outside the cabin, you see enormous trees lining the path. There are long shadows from the golden morning sun, and the wind whistles ominously through the leaves. You can hear something flying above.
Wouldn't it go into the ground?
Oh,
That's what worms do.
Yeah.
Do inchworms do that?
Not with the carriages and everything like that, it'd probably destroy those.
All right.
I was
Well.
going to use a spell, but I'm significantly weaker.
Than you used to be in the previous campaign.
As a god.
That's how things happen, yeah. I am going to give you just a few seconds, though, to come up with what you'd like to do to see if you can earn yourself a surprise attack. Now, it's already attacking the inchworm, but it doesn't know about you. Now, surprise attacks work differently in the new version of D&D. People used to run this a lot of different ways. Sometimes people would get a whole round of free attacks. All this one does is, if you can come up with a good enough Reason for it, you will get advantage on initiative should we go into combat.
Right.
What would you like to do?
Okay. Well,
I don't want to go to combat.
no, but we might have to
Yeah.
because he's our ride, and we have also promised that we're like the payment for this ride is to deliver this parcel, and we have to do that. And I don't want to be in debt to any more
Yeah.
We've got enough
whimsical
debt.
women. Okay.
I should have asked during the night, did anybody check what was in the package?
No, she told us not to look.
All right.
We are honourable, if nothing else.
Honourable drug runners, possibly. Allegedly.
Doesn't matter. I can claim ignorance. We had no idea. We just wanted to ride.
I don't know if that actually works. I'm pretty confident that it doesn't work. I'm pretty sure you don't go, I'm sorry, Your Honour, I didn't know what these condoms were doing in my own bottom.
They're not in my bottom, are they, though? It's just a parcel.
You wake up in the morning and go, why did I put this here?
God,
I didn't even need you. It was already wrapped.
Okay.
Well, shouldn't the worm know to get there?
Yeah, like, shouldn't the worm have more sense than
It
this?
knows how to get there. I mean, I guess it wasn't expecting to be attacked.
Yeah, but
That's the whole premise
it
of
should
the
have
whole...
known to get there before the night ended.
Yeah, this worm's dumb.
Yeah, because the saying is not the early bird is always hungry because the worms already know what to do. It's that some of the worms don't. Yesterday, this worm was a little thing in a jar before it was embiggened.
I love that spell.
That's cool. Okay, so how far away are we from our destination?
You don't know. You've never been there before.
Cool. So
Okay.
I think we need to peek outside and actually get an idea of what's going on, because we're actually inside right now. They can't see
there's
us, we can't see
cover or
them.
something.
We need to see if there's some cover we can get this worm to. Because you said like there's
Trees.
trees and stuff. We might be able to just get it some cover.
From where you are now, there's pretty much just trees, tall ones, and a path.
So we can go off the path.
It's a big inchworm. It's gigantic. There's not really enough gaps to get it far off. I mean, its tail could be sticking out. Those trees are fairly tightly packed. It is a forest. This path has been made specifically so people could get through it.
Are there enough fallen leaves? Is it that time of year that we could cover it?
Cover the worm.
This is a giant inchworm. It's big enough to put carriages on the back, multiple carriages.
Yeah. This is so cool.
It's
This
a
is
lovely
cool.
inchworm. I do like the idea of trying to cover it with leaves, but it would take probably
Days
weeks.
Okay.
Days.
How about distraction? How we distract the bird? Like, how about I'm just going to sneak out, see where the bird is. Like, I just want to put my head out of my carriage, yeah?
Yep.
And can I roll perception, please?
You can indeed.
I just want to see where this bird is, what it looks like. Oh, 17 plus 0, so no adding, but 17 is okay. I can see a bird, right?
All right. Now, looking up, you don't see much above you because there's only this narrow path of the gap in the canopy above you. So you only see it fly across very quickly above you and at quite some height. But it is very large. But the first thing you do know is that it has a laugh. That laugh belongs to a particular type of creature in Kaylee called the Griffaborough.
Oh, can we look that up in our book?
You can.
A Griffaborough is very cool, by the way.
Now, this may not have every creature you come across, but it does have some about this one.
Hi, I'm James and I play Kethri's Chronicle of Kali's Creepies. An excerpt from Chapter 4. Birds are bad too. Griffo-burers. Griffo-burers are horrifying. Just like everything else around here. They laugh at you. I swear that's the truth. No matter how you're feeling. A Griffo-burer, all 20 feet of him, will laugh at you before pecking you to death and giggling its way through 2 courses of your lower intestines. But when the laughter stops, they can be quite skittish, easily startled, quite quick to acquiesce, if you will. They come from the region of Kali known as the Rumbles, an area renowned for violent storms, beautiful vistas, and terrifying birds.
All right, great. Okay, that's really good news because we're not going to have to hurt this thing.
Or maybe, I mean, let's see what you do.
Okay, well, I've got an Eldritch Blast and I don't want to blast it at the bird. I want to blast it off in like a distance, kind of like a distraction or just to startle it away.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Like fireworks almost.
Yeah. And so I don't know what an Eldritch Blast is really, but it's what I will say is what it says here.
Oh, okay.
And I can hurl a beam of crackling energy. Make a ranged spell attack against one creature or object in range. On a hit, the target takes 1d4. But I'm not looking to damage. I'm just looking to like strike a tree and
Yeah, right at the top
scare it a
there.
little, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, now you do know what an Eldritch Blast is because I
Now I
pretty
know.
much summarized it. But I
Yeah.
mean, you're blasting the top of a tree.
Yeah.
Give me an attack roll. You really are not likely to miss this. I'll let you have it at advantage, actually. You're aiming for a tree.
Thanks.
I should have done it. No, did you get out of the cabin or did you stay in the cabin?
I was like kind of like out of the carriage, like I'm hanging out of the carriage.
Okay, the inchworm is bouncing all around, so unfortunately that would create disadvantage. And the advantage and disadvantage cancels each other out.
That's okay because I rolled a 15.
You rolled a 15 plus
Plus 5, 20.
total. You definitely hit the top of the tree as the bird flies past, and an explosion of colours and lights up the sky.
Yay.
And I guess you wait to see whether it comes back.
Oh, nice.
Now, we're doing something a little bit different here. This is like a skill challenge from some of the old systems, which means that after a number of successes, we'll see whether or not that bird flies away. But one success has already occurred. If you get enough done in time, perhaps it will run away. We'll see. Who else would like to have a go?
So the bird is scared now.
Yeah. So
It's
we
gone?
haven't gone with the surprise attack. It hasn't gone.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to try and also startle it at the same time that Thistle is doing this as well. So we've got like a bit of a double attack going on, but not an attack, just a startle. And I'm going to use beckon water, my elementalism.
Yeah.
And I'm going to beckon some water where I create a spray of cool mist that lightly dampens a creature.
And refreshes it for the afternoon.
Well, birds don't like getting wet,
Okay.
do they?
Some
I imagine
do.
the birds that like used to dive into my parents' pool and then like
They do like bird baths.
Yeah, true.
Kookaburras,
hopefully this.
call the rain.
I mean, it's a clear day. The bird doesn't expect it, so it's going to be startled, equally as
What's
startled.
great? Give it a shot. And what's its range
Objects in a 5-foot cube.
from where you're standing?
Alternatively,
So everyone looks across as Rue goes, "Watch this," and just sprays some water in front of her and goes, "Yeah."
you create 1 cup of clean water either.
Fuck is this spell?
What are you doing?
or she just does it up and it rains in the cabin.
She's offering it a cup of water.
This spell is hilarious.
This spell is not helpful.
You picked it.
Like a
Did you
refreshing mist
I did pick it.
for a glass of water.
And you're like, "I can't wait to,
Well, I
to
didn't
spray
read
a small amount of water."
this part. I didn't realize how weak I was at this.
Oh, this is so funny. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
So
get it
out the
for a
window,
shrink.
I'm just going to give it a little psh.
All
And then
right.
hopefully it catches that and it gets scared.
I'm just going to talk to the other two for a second. Ladies, what you see is this incredibly gorgeous looking ranger who looks like she's so badass she could probably fire an arrow that would split another arrow in half, Robin Hood style, etc. And she goes to the window and you're like, "What? I'm going to watch this? This will be, what is she going to do?"
And I am like on the edge of my seat. I'm like, wow. I mean, I thought what I did was cool. Wait till I see what this strong, confident woman who looks like, you're right, could split an arrow in half.
Yep, and you've gone back in to sit down on the seat just so you could move to the edge of it.
Yeah, I've got my hands like my head. You know how you rest your head on your hands, like in awe?
Yep.
I'm waiting.
Oh.
And then Rue goes to the window and either throws out a cup of water or sprays some mist.
Light mist.
A light mist dusts the air outside.
Yeah.
We're going to count that as a failure.
Okay.
Why? She didn't roll anything.
I'm-
Let her roll.
You go ahead and roll, and just keep rolling until you hear me say the word disadvantage, because that's how much disadvantage you have.
15. 10. 4.
Disadvantage. Okay, we'll take that 4. Lana,
Damn.
what would you like to do?
So if the aim is to startle the bird, I feel like the way that we naturally do it in the real world is like you go shoo shoo and you make noise. So I'm going to attempt to make noise.
Yeah, it's a big bird. You need to make a lot of noise.
Yep, I've got a frying pan and an umbrella, and I'm going to just smack them together to make a loud noise and just be like shoo shoo.
Is this your challenge to find a sound effect that I won't be able to get on the internet? Like, oh, banging pans and umbrellas together.
Yeah.
You're probably right. This might have to be one I do myself.
Yeah.
You're doing that from inside or outside the cabin?
Well, those windows, right?
Yeah.
So I can just hold them out the window and be like,
Okay, so you are banging
Shoo,
together
shoo.
one cast iron pan and an umbrella.
yeah, like the tip of the umbrella, like the metal bit.
Just the tip. All right. Can you roll every
We never miss it.
opportunity?
I love it.
Is this 2
Just
episodes in a row
do
in our
that.
new campaign that we've done
I
that
don't
joke?
think so. I don't know.
Okay, first one. Fair
But I
enough.
hope so. If we're starting a new bingo card for a new season,
Just a tip.
I hope just a tip, just a
Just
tip.
the
2
tip.
episodes in a row should be
Yeah.
on there. Okay. Yes, you were banging those things together. If you can give me an intimidation check on that one.
Yep. Biddy's really intimidating. She's got a +3.
Not bad.
Yeah, no, I
mean,
wasn't
it's
being
not
sarcastic.
great, but-
legitimately. 19 plus 3.
Ooh, somehow.
great.
Maybe, and you know what? This happened in Indiana Jones. There was a scene with some birds and an umbrella, and flailing around with the umbrella made the birds fly up into a plane and the plane crashed. So I'm going to say that while the noise probably wouldn't be enough, maybe you've startled enough other creatures to suddenly fly high into the sky. And so the bird has not yet attacked, which means I am going to let you have initiative advantage on your initiative rolls. Everybody give me 2 rolls of your D20 and let me know your best, please, and we'll decide what your initiative is.
So we got 15 plus 2, so 17.
14 plus 1, 15.
10 plus 3, 13.
Nice.
Pretty tightly packed.
I don't want to fight the birdie.
You don't.
I don't want to fight it either.
I thought we successfully scared it off.
You successfully got advantage on the back, which, by the way, was enough to make the bird go last. And you can see this thing swooping backwards and forwards, sometimes getting close enough to the inchworm to scare it to raise up again. So, think carefully about where you're attacking from, because if you're doing it from inside the inchworm, it will be at disadvantage, as it is lurching around. Going first will be Rue. We're in order, actually, followed by Thistle, and then Biddy. So you get 3 attacks before it does. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to climb outside of the inchworm because I don't want to do any damage.
You're going to jump up or jump down? Like, can you go on top of the carriage?
I'm going to go on top of the carriage. I think that's heaps cooler.
That's cooler.
Yeah.
And we've already established that your character just does things for the sake of coolness rather than effectiveness.
Yes,
It's not
definitely.
just holding a bucket of water.
Now I do have...
I'm going to attack it with my mist again.
Missed.
I do have...
Give them a light
longbow.
glaze. Oh, there's this whole other instrument you could be using.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to damage it at first. I was trying to startle and be nice.
true.
Just stay true to my character, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to use my longbow and I'm going to have a shot at it.
Okay. Now, a cool thing about your longbow that we haven't really dug into now, will probably be told in story form, is that each of your arrows has a different feather on the back that grants you a different style or different bonus to your attack or can do different things. I will let you pick one that might suit the situation.
Okay.
In Rue's village, the children went through numerous stages of childhood. One of those served dual purposes. It was a connection with nature and a connection with duty that began with the birth of both. A softly gurgling baby Rue lay swaddled near her mother as a small hole was dug and a tiny seed was placed inside. The prayer that followed was short. Light soil filled the hole, and mother and daughter returned home to share news of the newborn. A slightly older Rue had been walking between the tall trees near her clan's outer reaches, searching for leaves and feathers and fur, when she stopped, or was stopped, by a branch that seemed different from the others. It almost felt as though the tree itself had reached to her, a wooden limb gently resting upon her shoulder as the wind blew her hair aside. One more step, and it would surely have pierced her skin, but instead, the shape of that limb drew attention, curved like a bow, wrapped in itself for extra strength, and ready. Just like her. When she came home, her father beamed. "It's time to learn what those feathers are for," he said.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
Ah, Smart Water. Pure, crisp taste.
That's really good water.
It's the kind of water that says, I have my life together.
I do feel more sophisticated.
Smart Water. For those with a taste for taste. Grab yours today.
Shopping is hard.
I can never find anything in my size.
I don't even know my size.
I buy my clothes the same place I buy my groceries.
There's a better way. Make it easy with Stitch Fix. Just share your size, style, budget, and done. Your personal stylist sends pieces picked just for you.
That was easy.
Stitch Fix. Online personal styling for everyone. Free shipping and returns. No subscription required. Get started today at stitchfix.com.
Okay, so the feather is going to be green with blue flickers through it.
Right.
And once I release the arrow, it disperses into 5 more arrows.
Okay, but what does it do when it gets to the other end?
Just hits.
Oh, it just, okay.
That's pretty cool. 5 more
It
arrows.
looks awesome, yeah. I'm still going to just split the damage up across all 5. But
damn it.
it still started as 1 arrow. Okay, give me a roll. I thought you might have done something like it explodes in the sky so you can be another scary tactic.
That's what my other one does. That's an 8
And your modifier?
plus 4. So 12.
It unfortunately does not hit.
Damn.
Depending on your perspective as you fire at this otherwise innocent bird who was just here for breakfast. The 5 arrows go whistling past its wings.
Really? Damn.
That's a shame.
That is a shame. That could have been cool.
Thistle.
So I'm a bird lover.
I know, I'm not mad it didn't hit.
I really hate this.
I'm not the one telling you to attack it. I'm just giving you initiative so you can choose when to do what you want to do.
I can't do it. You know what else? Yesterday I was sitting on my couch and a kookaburra, actually came and flew and just like sat in a tree, and I was like looking at for ages, and all I can feel right now is me just blasting this poor kookaburra.
It's a griffo burrow if it
I
helps,
know,
because
I know,
the
it doesn't
griffin
help.
part might make it scarier.
Okay. I mean, like, I haven't given up on trying to distract it, to be honest.
Then distract away.
So I'm going to distract again.
You have an umbrella.
Okay. I have a thunderclap, and it's one of my cantrips, and it can be heard from up to 100 feet away.
Right.
So yeah, there's all this like dodging and stuff, but I do not want to hurt this bird. I know they're easily startled. We just haven't startled it enough.
Right.
So I am going to just create a loud thunder sound and hope that will just go like, oh no.
It's
Rain
quite
might
possible.
be coming, or lightning, and I could be hurt. I better go for cover elsewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that.
Just going to make a big loud noise.
Yeah.
So with that, you would normally make them take a constitution save, but you're saying you're not really aiming it at them?
No, I'm just making the sound.
Okay. So, you make a huge crack of thunder and are surprised, perhaps, that the Griffaborough is not even mildly perturbed by that. And maybe you remember back to the book that talked about where they came from. The birds like to live in the mountain ranges known as the rumbles.
Ah.
Oh, so we're here.
Oh, wait, the rumbles.
We've started the rumbles.
No, the bird comes from the rumbles.
Oh.
They can fly away from where they are. You're close.
They tend not to, though.
Yeah,
I know I'm metagaming right now.
well, okay. Well, if you're metagaming, then
But I read in the book.
a part of your brain might suddenly just go, oh, I guess we're near the rumbles then.
Yeah.
That's handy to know as this bird
Okay,
flies
so
around.
we're close to where we need to be then.
That's a good sign.
Like, we're either there or close to there.
Yes.
Okay. That's a
I mean,
great
you can't
sign.
see any mountains from where you are, but that's probably because there are trees.
Yeah. And probably explains, like, the rumbles is probably called the rumbles for a reason why my thunder's doing nothing for
Yeah.
it. It's just like, okay, that's very soothing. Thank
It is
you.
utterly a shame there's no other device you have to learn more about the rumbles. Can we move on then to Alana?
Do we have a book?
Yeah, we've got the book.
Are you going to pull the book out?
No. We're just noting that we have a book.
Lana.
I don't know. That was my one trick for distraction was the noise.
This character bothers me. That's one skill.
I built a martial artist, so she's a close range fighter.
Not really too good on birds.
No, not from the back of a worm at all. I have darts, but I do not want to do any damage to this bird.
Yeah.
I could throw some food away from us.
Love
And
that.
hope that it would eat that instead of our friend here.
is hungry.
Your backpack does contain a large amount of food, but it's not never ending, so this will take
Yeah.
a ration if you decide to do it. But it's also a big issue. It's looking for an inchworm to eat.
Yeah, that's. I'm just telling you my thought process as to
Yeah.
how I got to. I don't know.
So, pulling out one drumstick might not do enough.
Should we try and land this thing? So I guess,
It's flying, yeah, but I guess if you try to get it, you're saying, can you try and crash it down?
yeah. Should we try and ask it to land? Well, I'm just thinking if it's out of the sky.
Can
there's
you land so we can attack you closer?
No, not the
Using
bird.
this Griffin
Ask
burrow.
our worm to land nicely.
What?
So it's kind of out of harm's way.
It's not in the air. What are you doing?
I thought the worm was flying.
We've had
I
flying
mean, you
boats.
can make up little parts of this story, but where are you going?
I fully thought the worm was flying.
Why?
I don't know.
Sorry, I did leave a part of the story out. During the night, the inchworm climbed up into a tree, formed a cocoon, and in the day it was a beautiful butterfly.
Well, I like
that. Can we do
that?
that?
Is
No.
cute. I don't know.
It's not a flying
You've
inchworm.
had flying ships in this thing before, so I just assumed
You
this
just
was
attach
flying.
flying to everything that occurs.
Okay, so we're fine on the ground.
Yeah, it is flicking around. Front goes up, back goes up, middle goes up.
Yeah,
Because
cool, I
if
get
this
that.
bird is that big that it could eat a giant
I
inchworm,
didn't say it could eat the whole thing in one go.
yeah.
might be wanting to return
Oh, yeah.
to its brood.
But like there's a canopy of trees and I just don't know how it would have enough room to get down to be a threat to our worm friends.
It's got enough room to fit the inchworm into it.
I guess, when they do that tuck thing?
Oh,
when they
the wings in and then, yeah.
In the meantime, Biddy, what horrifying thing are you going to do now?
Use my animal handling to get the worm to move quicker?
Or to help it dodge?
Sure.
Perhaps? Or
Yeah.
keep it out of the way?
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Okay.
Give me some animal handling and kind of explain what you're trying to do with it. Park was the offering from Rue, but she also thought you were flying, so...
Yeah. Scratch that.
Land the flying worm. Not that I've ever ridden a horse, but I know that like pressure, like you poke them in the side and that directs them. I'm hoping that I can like poke it in the side and get it to turn and then I can keep doing that so he zigzags.
All right, give me a roll.
Okay. 7 + 2.
You poke the inchworm a few times in different locations. You look very impressive doing it, like you walk out with the stature of an individual who knows what they're doing. Tragically, you do not, and the inchworm doesn't respond to it. The inchworm, on the other hand, is launching all over the place. So, give me a dexterity saving throw to see whether or not you've been thrown.
Oh. 9 + 5, so 14.
Ooh, 14 is good. I wanted more than 15. Enough. You're right. You are flung through the air, and you. I'm going to say I was going to, possibly land you into a tree harshly, but I think you've actually avoided damage with that roll. With that,
I use my umbrella Mary Poppins style to.
Oh, that's so cute.
Well, you try to, but it's slightly damaged from when you banged a pan on it. But you hit the tree. You hit the tree, but you do it in a rather interesting manner. The other two might notice just how dexterous you looked being flung from an inchworm. It looked much smoother than it should have. And you land down to the side. What you do notice after that, and you're outside now, you do notice a man crawling out of one of the other cabins. He is very well dressed.
There's other cabins on the same worm?
Yeah. It's like cabins
like
all along, like a train.
No, I listened to you describing the thing. I thought you were talking about like other worms. Like there were like
No, it's not a train of worms. No, it's a large, long worm, yeah.
I was just picturing something different. Sorry.
It's all right, it happens.
Indy's like, there is no judgment here. It's very easy to get confused.
Yeah.
Didn't know there were other people. Yeah, cool. Okay.
The man climbs out and his wings unfold because everybody flies now.
I need you to go and leave us.
No, it's not genuine. He doesn't have wings.
Oh, okay.
They really could have been helping us.
Okay.
He is very well dressed, is all I've said so far. But when I say well dressed, it just looks like an expensive, long black coat.
Mm-hmm.
He has long dark hair in dreadlocks. He just looks very charismatic, would be the right word. And he steps out and he starts to sort of, you think he's going to sing. He stands there and looks like he's lining up to sing. And he does it from the top of one of the carriages. It looks very impressive. In fact, if anything, you'd say this guy was giving the performance of a lifetime.
Hi, this is Mike Borton from Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania, in the United States, reading for the Dreadlock. Now listen here, you laughing fool. You've missed the Dreadlock's golden rule. So laugh no more, you must be quiet, and return now to your feathered riot.
You recognize this is a bard.
Oh.
A bard.
And they're very charismatic.
Yeah, they can be. How they use that is another thing. They have a reputation for being the sort of people who are seductive and talk people into things. And he sings this out in some form, as I said, spoken word singing, and casts his spell.
Is it Vicious Mockery?
No, that would be mocking the bird viciously. This is more of a charm. Like he has the capacity to do those sort of spells, but he's started with, it's very similar to you. He doesn't want to harm this creature.
Cool.
I have rolled a 19, which with his modifier means he has been successful. And that was the last success roll. So you do see the Griffer Burrow swoop down one more time and come towards him. The inchworm is rising up and he's standing there very powerfully. He looks very confident as he says this. Yeah, he feels his cloak is billowing in the wind, even though there is no wind. It's like it just seems like it billows with or without you. His hair is doing the same, and he just says this thing, and his hands are clenched, and he looks like he's delivering some sort of Shakespearean speech.
That's cool.
And the bird looks right in his eyes and sweeps away and flies up, looks at him like it's going to bite him. but then the overwhelming effect of everything you've all done together, except for the water, pushes him.
If anything, it went against us because it felt very refreshed after.
on,
On
its way out, it goes, oh, and thank you for the water, and flies away. And you are very fortunate that you have managed to stop this thing from killing your inchworm.
Radio.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Good.
Is our inchworm going to keep going, or are we near our...
Don't want to talk to the guy who did all that? Just going to
No,
go.
I definitely want to talk to him.
All right, everyone back in the cabins. You stay up there if you wish.
Now that I have registered and comprehended that there's other characters and other people, I don't know why it was our sole responsibility to stop the worm from driving in the day.
I think this is going to be absolutely fantastic, a campaign where you guys go, I hope someone else is in charge around here.
Yes, right? Like, why is everything always us?
What are we, heroes or something?
Why is everyone else just bystanders all the time? Why do we have to be the ones?
And to be honest, you weren't the ones.
Okay.
Someone else actually did.
You
helped.
We
tried.
started it. We started the trend. Anyway,
we sneezed on the bird.
Yeah. First, we acknowledged that the worm was not flying, and I think that was a really helpful...
That was a step forward. A crucial piece of information that kind of brought this whole thing to a head. No, we should absolutely go and say thanks to the help. How would you like to approach this individual? Oh, can I just say...
Can we send the ranger in?
Do you know... well, he's like, I saw the water. That was awesome. The little poem that he reads out, the spoken word thing, when it talks about going back to his feathered riot, the collective noun for kookaburras...
is a riot.
There you go. I think I deserve a little bit more respect for that because that took a lot of Googling.
What's the collective for a griffin?
What's the collective noun for a griffin?
Don't you start. We've established that you recently Googled your own email address. What would you like to do as you approach this
We're seeing the ranger in first. She's got the confidence. I'm a little gothic fairy.
How is she?
Did you see how confidently she threw the water?
Wouldn't that have taken the notch off?
No, God, no.
She's like, oh, that was...
Does she look bothered to you?
She's still like, you guys saw how that water set things up, right?
Yeah. Are you bothered?
Not at all.
She's not bothered.
She's actually drinking a glass of water.
She's actually like, getting shit.
Yeah, that I've just conjured up. So I'm going to walk over to the bard.
Yeah, his name is the Dreadlock. He referred to himself.
The Dreadlock.
Yeah.
The Dreadlock. That's kind of just...
It's not the lock as in the hair. It's lock spelled like water.
It just smells to me.
But he also has dreadlocks,
Is that the first thing you say to him? He does have dreadlocks, but lock is actually spelt like the way...
That's cool, like
the
Loch
water
Ness.
is like the Loch Ness.
Loch.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping us out, the Dreadlock.
Mr. the Dreadlock to you.
Now, how do you get one of those stronger spells? Because my myths didn't seem to work.
Well, he says...
Well, I think you should know something about me. I have traveled these lands far and wide. I have saved the people here so many times. Have you heard of the Cataclysm, the Apocalypse? That was me. I fended off the god known as Angela. There were other people there, of course.
Hold up.
Has anyone told you how beautiful your eyes are and your hair?
Yes.
And I did see that thing with the water before. I know what you were trying to do.
Let's go back to Angelok here.
No, Dreadlock they call me.
No, Angelok. What did you say you defeated Angelok?
Single-handedly?
Well, other people like to say those things. I don't put words in their mouths. I can, but I don't.
Because I think I know of someone else who may have defeated
I'm piping
Angelok.
in at this point, and I'm like, sorry, I've never heard of you.
There were other people there. I don't say there weren't.
But where were you in the mountain? Whereabouts were you located?
You wish to hear the whole thing?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Well, I mean, this is probably not the first time.
I think
but
it's a perfect time.
You know, as soon as we're in, I'm heading north to seeing an Evie Falius Fridge. Have you heard of it?
We've heard a version of it.
Does anybody know how to say that?
No one does.
But they have a pub there, and I will be performing my one-man play about how I defeated Angelok. Sorry, sometimes I pronounce it differently too, even though I definitely was there. I was definitely there, and part of it too. I did not deliver the killing blow, but just many of the blows that came before that.
Okay, so where were you?
He looks startled for a moment, like the extra questions aren't what he's ready for.
Yeah.
He's like, perhaps you saw my performance. The guards came together and fought amongst each other, and then I miraculously...
Whereabouts was this happening, though?
There was a mountain. Mountain range, excuse me. Again, have I mentioned your hair?
Yeah, so you weren't there. Okay, moving on.
I was amongst the others. I was prominently involved.
Hiding in the corner? Because I don't think you were there.
And which also appears to be your argument that you didn't see me, and I was clear. But, well, do you have a song? Do you have a song about it?
That's fine. That's fine. You carry on thinking you did what you did.
Well, believing, factually.
That's okay. That's okay. Carry on.
Good. I was carrying on.
Where are you going to?
We're going north.
Uwifasaki.
So what we do is we come out of here. We come out of the forest here, and the inchworm will drop us off very soon, I imagine. We're pretty close to the lake itself. We cross that. We go through the rumbles, past the grudge, and then on the other side we'll arrange. Well, I will arrange for myself some sort of transport the rest of the way. So all we need to do is get the inchworm back. Shall we?
How far do you think, I'm going to ask the dreadlock, how far you think we are from the Great Hole?
He stands upright and lets his cloak billow a little bit, lets his hair flow, and he says,
"We're close." Real close.
All right, I'm just going to make my way back over to...
Oh my God.
Well, I do hate to see you leave.
Such a wank, but love to watch you go.
Thank you.
But I love the way I watch you leave.
I'm just going to turn around.
He starts writing a song. He pulls out a notebook.
Of course he does.
The Way I Watch Her Walk, it's called.
Oh. I'm going to head over to Thistle and just whisper in her ear, I've seen wankers like this before.
The Dreadlock is named after one of our Patreons who's got one of the best names ever. I'm so sorry that I'm creating a horrible NPC based on
You really
this,
are.
But I just
He's
love
such
it.
a dick.
Yep, and yet the actual person
in real life
is lovely.
Not, yeah.
He's not a dick, he's more of a douche.
Yeah.
How would you like to get the inchworm moving again?
Should we have a look what's in this parcel?
No.
It's been killing me this whole time.
No, it hasn't. Leave it alone.
You made a deal, you have to stick to that deal.
Okay, I'm not going to look
Also,
what's in the
Rue,
parcel.
look how we end up in this mess again. We need to fulfill promises. Okay?
Correct.
And every time we don't fulfill a promise, something really shit happens. And I'm sick of being indebted to whimsical, scary witches, women, whatever they are.
Correct.
A list of things that
A
you've been
list
indebted
of
to.
really scary things. And I'm done with that. So
I'm
we are
not-
not looking at this parcel.
I'm
Unless
not-
we absolutely have to, would be the caveat.
Well, I will say when you get back to the cabin, the castle is slightly wet on the edges from the spray of water from before. And would
The castle or parcel?
did I say the castle?
Yes.
The parcel. There are no castles.
No.
Not this time. But the parcel is wet on the edges. And, you know, you could probably pull it away a little bit if you wanted.
I know, but I'm not Freya, I'm Rue, so...
You are still Freya.
Oh, I'm going to open the parcel then.
For fuck's sake.
Biddy takes that out of your hands and puts that in one of my many tote bags.
Well,
and
let's
I'm
see
like,
if you
dearie,
do.
I'm just going to save yourself
Let's see if you do. Dexterity checks both ways. The good
Okay.
news is that Biddy has the moves.
there. Biddy does.
Biddy does.
Both of you rolling a d20 and adding your dexterity, please.
The Morrigan inside Biddy came out.
What did you roll? Oh. Biddy, what did you roll?
2 plus 3, so 5.
That's not great.
Not even a 1 that I can re-roll.
The Freya inside Rue came out. 15, but it's -1. Still better than...
Technically, I've still destroyed you with my roll.
By a hair.
You very, very easily grasp the package. It's in your hands. That's all I'll say.
Don't give me the choice, because you know I want to. It's like Christmas.
Stay true to you, Rue.
You could just open up the edge and look in.
I could, but Corey, I feel like this is a bad idea.
Can I try
That's
again?
something you've never tried to do, is say this is a bad idea.
I know. I'm just going to hand it over to Biddy.
Okay.
I've never been prouder of you.
God, the pain.
The inchworm, the dreadlock actually gets the inchworm moving again since you guys were more worried about the package. And you find yourselves on the edge of the lake known as the Great Hole or the Hole. It's like the sign and everything. It's a very popular location. There are people here. They're getting ready to hire some of the boats that are along the waterside.
We're here to find out what your husband said, hey.
Yeah, he's left something for us.
He's left some clues. Do we remember what the clues were? Because we need to be able to have a look for them when we get there.
It's just a great hole of Gouda.
Of Gouda.
He said that he launched himself into the depths of the place where we first met, below the Grumpy Mountain. So I think it's in the lake, whatever he's left us.
Okay. Okay, so we know that we're looking for Gouda.
Everyone might have a different way of saying it.
That's fine. But why don't we have a look at the book?
Oh, and then you want to see if it's a place, like ask the book.
Well, we could ask the book what the Great Hole is like and see if there's any information about the Great Hole that could help us find Gouda or Gouda.
Yeah.
And then we can ask it about the Gatoragooda after. Because it might be like a road or something. I don't know.
The book really only knows the names of places.
Okay, we'll ask it about the Great Hole.
Hi, my name is Chelsea from Ohio, and I am the Guide to Kaylee, Post-Apocalypse Edition. Please state the name of your destination.
The Great Hole.
Nobody knows how deep the Great Hole really is. Like most holes, it is deceptively shallow initially. So what do? You throw something in. And that's what people have been doing for years. Lobbing stuff into the water that fills the Great Hole and never, ever thinking about it again because why would you? It's long gone. But recently, there have been murmurings from those who visit the area to row in the lake and eat cheese that maybe, just maybe, something else might be going on down there.
And you do notice about lots of people trying to hire boats. They get, here's where you come to eat cheese on the lake. And so everyone is buying like cheese boards. You can imagine how a market for cheese boards would go. There's different sizes of them.
I was actually just thinking this is a business idea. I was like, oh my God, should I start a business of cheese boards and
cheese
canoes?
Boards by the sea. It does make some sense, doesn't it? But you buy a whole cheese board, you get a cheese board knife, and you row out into the middle of the lake and you sit there and eat cheese with a loved one or by yourself if you're,
I'd go by
a
myself.
cheese freak. You're just sitting out there going, just loading cheese in your face. I can imagine doing it. Yeah, that's what you learn.
So from that, I'm guessing your husband has thrown something into the lake that we need to try and retrieve that's going to help us on our path. Okay, great.
And no one knows how deep this hole is. No one, I don't think, has even been down there because what goes down there is forgotten.
And the mystery of like something might be going on down there that's not what it seems.
I feel like we should ask a local because obviously they were probably going to know a bit more than us. So maybe the person who's hiring out the canoe, we could make our way over them and say,
you're right.
Hey, what's the go?
We've heard rumours that something else is going on down there.
Yeah. How could we retrieve something from the Great Hole?
You do have to stand in a line for a little bit for that because he's busy and he's hiring out boats all over the place. You find your way to the front. What do you ask?
We say hi.
Hi.
We'll get some cheese because we don't want to waste his time.
Yeah.
But we don't have any money.
Biddy spent her money.
Yeah, we got
Biddy's
no
out of
more.
cash.
Okay, while we're in line, I pull out my sketch pad and I'm drawing a little sketch of what Sir Hodges looked like the last time I saw him.
Yeah.
So I can ask them about him. How are you going today?
What do you want? Cheese boards? Big, small, large. In that order. The small one is bigger than the big one and the big one is smaller than it's confusing.
It does seem like it's a bit of a morning rush. Would you like us to help you?
Big, small, large.
Would you like us to help
Chicken or beef? It's like the kebab guy. Saturday night. Big, small, large.
I just ease on around the counter and start offering help.
He's looking at you like, I'm not sharing my wage.
No one wants you to.
That is fine, sweetheart. You just look a little like you need help. This looks like more than one man job.
No,
I got you.
It's not, and I don't want you near the cash. In fact, I'm a little disturbed that you've just walked behind the counter.
That's fine, dearie. I'm always willing to help a person in need, so...
You see his finger is tapping away at a button underneath the counter.
Oh, no.
To get security.
Is it panic mode?
Yeah, he just had someone walk behind. I don't know, you're a halfling, but he's still worried.
I turn to the next person. I'm like, hi, how can we help you today? You handle the money, dearie. I'll get the customers.
You're going to ignore his warnings.
I'm staying away from the money.
But how are you going to take the money when it's going to take him, you're going to make it harder for him.
Can I prepare the food?
The cheese boards are pre-prepared. Probably days ago. They don't look great.
I'm going to say, look, if you want her to leave, we've got a few questions. Ask the questions.
Okay. Well, the other two have to ask the questions now because...
Biddy, can you show him the picture, please?
Oh, yes, of course. And I give him my sketchbook that has the...
hastily drawn version of your husband.
Yeah.
Do you know this man?
Can you see the size of the lines here? I don't remember people who come and go.
Okay. Look,
except for you, and he looks over at Rue and he says, you have amazing hair.
Thank you.
And it's not as creepy as it first sounds, but he is a bit older. But it's also, you have to acknowledge, your hair does that to people.
I know, but I'm also going to subtly flirt back. We're trying to get something here.
I'm going to hand the questions over to Rue.
Okay.
Since he seems enamored that way.
Flick the hair gently.
Can I get you some cheese? On the house.
Excuse
big,
my
small,
friend
large,
here.
up to you.
She's trying
No,
to
but
help
the cheese,
us out.
can I get you the big, small, or large?
I've got no money for that.
No, it's on me.
Okay, no
Take the
worries.
cheese, take the cheese,
Take the cheese. I love the cheese.
Big, small, large.
Large, please.
He hands over an oversized chopping board, cheese board, but chopping board covered in different types of cheeses, You can see there's different brands on there, of course. They're all still in their wrapping, and all different vegetables all chopped up nicely and everything like that, and still wrapped. And he points at a boat and says, "There you go, number 19.
Thank you. Can I ask you one more quick question?
Sure.
Is there any way that we can retrieve something that's been thrown into the Great Hole?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
There's no diving here. I mean, can you breathe underwater? Can anyone?
No.
That's a bit rare. It happens though. Most people, and when you look in the lines now, you notice that a lot of people have brought something specifically from their houses to throw into this lake. Just broken shit. They're just like, this is what you come here for, and they're all carrying something.
It's like a dump.
Yeah, it's sort of like part of they're all well dressed, Sunday best sort of clothes.
Yep.
Ready to paddle out, but it's also become a thing where they're like, and it doesn't matter what sort of damage we do to this area, we just go and lob things in and then eat cheese and laugh.
Interesting choice of activities.
They don't seem to have anything on them that would help you go diving.
Okay. I'm just going to quickly say then, have you seen this man? I'm going to point to Biddy who's holding up the photo of her husband.
I still haven't seen that. I looked at it before.
Oh, you really don't know him? Okay. Let's go eat some cheese then.
Well, with that information, let's get into boat number 19.
Number 19.
We've got to go have a close look, obviously.
Yeah.
Eat our cheese, head out, and see what we can do.
All right, you push boat number 19 through. On your way to the edge of the lake, there are those really tall reeds you get that they're like tubes, like long thing. And there's heaps of those. They're actually quite tall and lots of different sizes, and the mud squishes in your feet down below them, so you got to be really careful not to step on one because they seem really sharp. And then, what are you going to paddle with?
Shouldn't it just come with that?
It comes with all.
I just didn't know if you actually grabbed them.
Yeah,
I like to leave you guys
I would
up as many shit creeks as I can without those paddles.
But my thing is this. If you are hiring a canoe or a boat of any sort, the paddles are just in the canoe.
They are.
Always.
The paddles are in the canoe.
We'll grab the paddles out and we'll start paddling through the reeds.
Okay. And you make your way to the middle of the...
And I'm going to roll perception.
Okay.
15.
And your modifier? Or
that was with the modifier.
With the modifier?
Yep.
The water is quite interesting because it's a very beautiful light blue. Once you get past the little muddy edges of it and get into the actual water, it's a light blue, very tropical sort of colours for maybe 3 or 4 meters. And then you can see it just gradually becomes darker and darker out into the centre until it's black. I've already mentioned the reeds growing there, rather tall.
And hollow.
They are indeed. And there are limited numbers of fish.
Is that a clue? I just can't
pick
it up.
Oh my fucking God, it's a clue.
Yeah,
I can't say.
I know. I'm trying to get to the part where I get to speak so I can make
She's trying to be respectful and not interrupt you. I'm laughing my head off because I've just registered what she's... Yeah, okay.
And you push the boat out.
But not before. I'm going to grab some of these reeds.
Why?
It's hard to say. Because none of us can breathe underwater, but what we can do...
As far as I know.
...is make a chain of long, hollow tubes. And then... someone can hold one on the boat and someone else can go diving down, put the tube in their mouth, which I'm not going to action with my hand right now, and then I can breathe, or someone can breathe and swim down.
That's a great idea.
So it's a giant snorkel.
A giant snorkel.
The only, yeah, I love it.
The only, you said the only though.
The only thing that's stopping
I
us.
love it.
We don't know how deep this thing is.
Well, that's what we're going to find out.
Okay, sweet. So wait, how many tubes do you think we need?
Oh, like 100. I don't know.
We can always row back to get more, can't we? Like if we be like, can't go any further, come back up and then...
Let's go 5 because you said they're quite tall.
Yeah, like 2 meters. Nobody would talk about this deep, dark
okay, let's
hole
go.
And go, it's 10 meters. It's actually not
all right.
too deep at all.
Let's go.
Pretty shallow.
15. That's it.
All right, you cut 15 of these tubes and you're wise enough to cut them at different sizes so you can just sort of push them into each other, but that does mean they'll get smaller and smaller as they're going along. And you row...
I'm thinking less air because the tube's getting smaller and smaller.
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't put ideas in his head. This is a flawless plan.
Yeah, overthink it, maybe just mid-think it.
Also, who's going in the water? Because
I'll go in. I'm a sweet little fairy.
Love that
idea.
idea.
Is this your character's new fear, water?
I don't know.
Apart from the spraying, of course.
The dark water. The depth. Dark.
No, it's because I have like light and stuff that I can kind of conquer under there if I need to.
Yep.
Nice.
I think.
The dreadlocks really put the idea of a Loch Ness monster kind of thing in there.
Could have. I mean, he got his name from defeating Angelok.
He did not.
in the
though.
previous campaign or by himself.
He's lying.
With the help of others, but mostly by himself.
I've got here, thinks he defeated Angelok and thinks underlined like 40 times.
Wrote a song.
I put next to his name, liar, liar, pants on fire.
Okay, what I can do is I've got a cantrip spell, which is light, and I can touch a larger or smaller object that isn't being worn or carried by someone else. Until the spell ends, it just puts 20 feet radius of light around me.
I love
and
that.
the light can be any color I like.
Nice.
So you chose a dark blue.
So deep, dark ocean blue.
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to have like a nice white light.
What are you going to take down?
That's a great question.
It is.
What about the cheese board?
It's not a bad idea.
Well, I'm just thinking weight-wise, because we've got the large board, you could just hold onto it and it could drag you down. And once you get there, just let go and you could float back up.
I do like that.
I mean, I would think all the things might float off the cheese board.
Oh, we're going to eat that
those
before.
things
Oh,
first.
okay, so it's just the weight
Yeah.
of the wooden board.
Yeah, just the weight of the
You
wooden
did
board.
get a big wooden board, so
Yeah.
so the first thing is you're out in the middle.
I've touched it.
There's some sort of secret below,
Yep.
and you
Yeah.
think, good time for some cheese.
Yeah, and we're going to quickly eat our cheese.
While we're discussing our plan and whittling the reeds.
Yeah, putting them all together. And then I think we've eaten our cheese. We're happy with that. I'm touching the board. We've put our reeds together.
You do notice as you're eating the cheese, one of the cheeses is Gouda,
Oh,
and you can see the wrapping for that.
read the wrapping.
It says Gouda.
What else?
It just means you can see that people clearly have come here before to eat that
Eat
sort
Gouda.
of cheese.
Okay, great.
There's no secret clue on the
There could be.
package.
You never know
There
anymore.
could have been. I think it was worth doing.
I'm glad I asked. God, I am so hungry now.
So am I.
And yeah, I'm going to go buy a cheese board. All right, okay. So I'm going to dive down and
With your reed snorkel.
with my reed snorkel, and I guess I'd probably roll like investigate.
You could. I mean, with the light around you at the depth you've gone to, you don't see anything. It's still deeper.
Oh, so I've gone down as far as my snorkel will allow.
And you still can't see the
And I
bottom.
still can't see any. There's nothing at all.
Maybe a little twinkle of light.
Can I roll perception?
It won't give you much more than maybe a little twinkle of light.
A little twinkle of light.
What about Arcana? Aren't you magic? Do you have good Arcana?
I do. I've got +3 Arcana.
You can try and see what you can find out there.
Don't like when it says try.
Don't worry about it.
What'd you roll?
5
You were right.
+3.
Didn't help.
Yeah, didn't think so.
I'm going to roll
There's not much to see. There really isn't much
You
to
can't
see.
roll Arcana. You're
You're
up.
on the boat. You go ahead and roll as
Please
much
do
Arcana.
though, just for fun. Well, just to be clear, the boat's on the surface of the water,
Just
not
a normal,
in
not
the
flying
air.
boat.
Just a normal boat. Well, then I can like...
Not a submarine either. It's not below the
Nope.
water.
I can
Exactly.
see if there's any kind of... Should we take Gouda down? Is that like the secret key to this place?
I think it's just like, people come out here and they eat on the cheese boards and they just throw everything overboard when they're finished. You rolled anyway, didn't you?
Yep.
And what sort of roll is this?
Pretty good one.
For what part? Perception, Arcana?
Arcana.
And what are you looking at?
17 + 4.
And what are you looking at?
Down below the lake.
You're further away than the...
I've just imagined her putting her face in the water and blowing bubbles.
She's got one of the tubes and she's put it up against her eye.
I'm like, lucky she's pretty, huh?
You put your head into the water, face down, to see if you can look. Your hair flares out beautifully. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And you notice how dark it is, but you can feel that this lake is magical in some way. But it's a long way from where you are.
I'm going to throw a piece of Gouda in and see if anything else happens.
Throw in a piece of cheese and it quickly moves out of sight. Thistle, soon after that you see a piece of cheese float past you and keep floating on by until it leaves your vision.
Fuck. There's something that we can do, and I just don't know what it is.
I'm going to probably come back up. I can see a little speck of twinkle of light. So there's hope. So I think we need to come back up, get more reeds, go back down.
All right, let's say you double the amount of reeds, or even you do this a few times.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you were that far down before to a place that I think the depths you'd picked before were sort of distance someone could swim.
No, they can't. Who can? Have you?
The freediving record's like 200 meters.
That I can't believe they didn't
No,
die.
that they can stay down there for 15 minutes.
Before coming back up.
Yeah, it's actually hectic.
It's one of those things where you go, that's not human.
No, that's not human.
And they slow their heartbeats down to like 5 beats a minute and stuff.
That takes some serious training.
I can't even calm my heartbeat when I'm having a panic attack.
Yeah, I can't even box breathe.
Their lungs compress to like that big. Like there's just like no air in them at all. And then when they get to like the 50-meter mark back up again, they have to like stay there for a bit, try and like to equalize the lungs.
Yeah.
So they've got to do that at each like 10 meters.
Yeah.
They've got to
Holy
sit there and wait.
shit.
And it's like,
Might be something you have to think
That's
about.
when I'd go into panic.
Yeah.
Is this information getting down to Thistle at the moment? On your way back, do it slowly.
It is so impressive.
In the meantime, so now we've gone down 90 meters and still nothing.
No, I didn't say that. You didn't roll.
Oh, shit, sorry. Forgot how to play this game, apparently.
Oh, God.
No, I didn't. I'm joking. Come on. All right, but so you said we've done this a few more times, though, is what you've said.
Yeah, and each time, I mean, the sparkle was bigger the second time, and the third time, perhaps. This is your third time,
okay.
so.
And I'm rolling. Oh, for fuck's sake. I rolled a 4.
What for? Sorry, I'm amusing myself.
No, I was actually trying to think that's a valid question if I was rolling investigate.
I mean, at this point, you might have to let go and swim down.
I'm going to. I'm like, look, I've actually, because I've got enough air. At this point, like, I've got...
You're about to tell us if you're going to blow the message back through the pipe. Everybody listen. I'm just going to...
I mean, we haven't tried to telepathically talk yet.
Telepathetically. Now, you and I might like to use our sound, but what do you do when there's someone else around? Well, in the land of Kaylee, and places further than you can see, some will do communication telepathetically. No, it's not really called that. It already had a name. But let me explain it to all you just the same. If you have matching tattoos, you can send a message to those close by. But forewarned, it also makes it really easy to spy.
Oh, you can talk to me.
I have no idea.
You guys
Try
can.
it.
No, you can.
You guys can. We've chosen different tattoos, though.
You haven't tried yet, yeah.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try and psychically link to the girls and say, look, I think I'm close. I have an air supply close enough to me if I let go and come back. So just letting you know, I'll tug 3 times on the thing when I'm back on.
Does the tube flood with water, or do you have to, like with a snorkel, if you had
you
have to put your finger over the top or something to stop it?
I was going to tie it off. You know, like it's flexible. I reckon I can just tie in a little knot.
Okay.
While pinching it, like pinch,
Yeah.
tie.
I agree.
Sure.
And then I'll pinch, then undo it, pop in mouth.
See how we go. Well, we don't need to do that straight away. We can find out whether that works when we come back after you go for a swim.
Yeah. All right. Did anyone hear me though?
Biddy, you do hear a voice. Rue, you hear nothing. In fact, this makes no impact upon you whatsoever. Your head is still in the water. You're blowing bubbles. Biddy, you hear everything that Thistle said.
Excellent. And I really excitedly tap Rue, and I'm like,
I come up for air.
Did you hear that? She had the water. I'm like, did you hear that?
No, didn't hear anything. Apart from my bubbles and my beautiful hair.
Okay, noted. 1 second. And I send a message down, and I'm like, Thistle, I got that. Rue didn't. We'll figure that out later. Please be safe.
Thistle.
Yes.
You don't hear anything. Biddy, you don't know that she doesn't hear you.
I do not.
Oh, okay. So it's only Thistle
And Rue, you know nothing of this.
to Biddy. And I can't hear either. I'm going to try and telepathetically talk to Biddy.
What would you like to say?
Just checking if I can telepathetically talk to you, Biddy.
Biddy, you hear every word.
Oh, okay. See if you can do it back.
And I telepathetically say back, I smile, and I telepathetically say back, okay, so clearly I'm going to have to be a medium between you guys.
Rue, you see your halfling friend stand up and smile.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to speak with my mouth now. So we've just established that you can hear Thistle.
Yep. And you can't.
And I can talk to you, but you can't communicate with either of us.
But I just communicated with you.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't hear it.
With a smile.
I got the smile and that's it. I got no message in my head.
Okay. Well, hopefully Thistle comes back and I can tell her that I can't communicate with her, because that's cool. Awesome. That's lovely. Okay.
So Thistle, you really wouldn't know whether they got that message or not.
Yep.
But you did send it.
But I sent it.
What would you like to do?
I'm going to tie off the tube and I'm going to go swimming down and probably roll Arcana.
A little bit further down, you start to notice just how many things are at the bottom of this lake. It is strewn with wreckage. And there are little parts sparkling here and there. But nothing that specifically stands out from the first look. Now, give me your roll and I'll tell you whether we can see anything else.
8 total.
8 total? Nothing specific in this stage, but you do notice that what you can tell even with that roll is that the rubbish is sort of separated into collections.
Oh, something's down there organising.
Quite possibly, but it is you could go, oh, look, that's weird. All the anchors are near each other. And over there's a whole bunch of fridges. Now, that seems weird. They wouldn't fall down next to each other, but that is about all you can tell.
Okay. I'm going to swim around, though, and what would I be looking for? What on earth would I be looking for that could help us? I've got my light board, don't I?
Got your cheese board?
That's lit up. I'll drop it. I guess I was just trying to...
that would scare the hell out of me in water. If I was down deep and I dropped the torch or whatever I had.
Yeah,
Nope.
not yet. I'm trying to make a beacon of light to me to just no, this doesn't organise itself. Something's organising it.
So you want it to shine where, or whatever's down there, if there is something down there, would be able to see this light lowering itself towards them.
Yes, but what I'm going to do is when I drop it, see if something comes along to organise it or if it organises itself.
Love this. You let go of the light and it terrifyingly falls away from you. That would just do me in. You resist the urge to just swim straight back up, which I would do. And you see the light land down. I'm going to give you a perception check at advantage here.
Thank you so much. I really need that today.
Because you can see reasonably clearly.
Highest roll was a 14 plus 0, still 14.
Okay. What you do notice is these sections, you see, as I said, some anchors, fishing rods seem to get thrown in a lot. Empty treasure chests. It's like as if no one would throw away actual treasure.
Yeah, we've claimed the treasure. We don't need the chest.
Yeah, just threw away the treasure chest. Slides towards one of the broken robots. Broken rowboats, like the one up top with the cheese boards still in them. Kettles, fishing nets, mirrors, gauntlets, clocks, helmets, anything that people, bird cages, broken umbrellas strewn across the floor.
Did someone have a broken umbrella? Morrigan, you have one.
You don't know this, you're up in a boat.
But don't. Okay.
I'm still waiting to see if something comes and organises it.
You do notice the whole region seems to shift a little bit and it ripples, and you notice that the cheese board that you dropped, very easy to watch because it's still lit up, slides towards one of the broken rowboats and joins with those.
Because of wood.
Because maybe it looks like the rowboats and the cheese boards are together because that's what sometimes would be dropped down here. So it's collecting them in grouping of whatever it is.
So I couldn't see anything, or I saw the light move.
You saw the whole region move, shifted itself.
Yeah, but I didn't see a thing.
Yeah.
Would the umbrella be a connection to you? I'm still stuck on this brolly.
It was just a coincidence.
I think it's just a coincidence because he couldn't have predicted that. So I'm going to follow my light and go and investigate the cheese board light canoe situation.
Why?
To not be left in the dark?
Because that, is horrifying. But if I think back to the letter that Morrigan...
It was sent to Morrigan from Sir Hodges, right?
Yeah. That was sent to her by her husband. I'm wondering if whatever they put there, they put there by sinking their canoe. Or, do you know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Like if they're throwing something down there, then maybe, and he does talk a lot about the cheese and the eating and the canoe and all that kind of stuff, maybe they did it by sinking that down. So that's why I'm going to do it.
All right. Now, in my head, I've decided how long you can stay underwater. There are actually official rules for how long. They're based on your strength.
Yeah.
Holding your breath is kind of based on your constitution, not your strength. Sorry, what's your constitution?
+2.
All right. You can hold your breath for a bit. And you're holding your breath from when you let go of the reed.
Yeah, it's not like I've gone all the way from the top. And I can still swim back up and get some air when I need to.
As you swim down towards the cheese boards and rowboats, you hear a voice, and it seems to echo through the water rather than come from a specific location.
Hello, I'm Laura, and I'm from England. I play the shiny things.
Looky here. There's nothing you should fear. Just some shiny things are near, twinkling in the water, so unclear. They sparkle, dear, like the tip of a silver spear. Is it the front or is it the rear? The only way to know is, come hither, come near. So, come and look at all this gear I've been collecting for oh so many a year. My treasure is weird and wild and queer. So come and look and stare and hear.
And I would like you to give me a wisdom saving throw to see whether or not the sparkly things draw your attention.
But my wisdom saving throw is a +2, 6. Does that help at all?
I want to say yes, but there is no way I'm going to. Instead of going to where you wanted to go, although you are drawn to just shiny things, and the shiniest thing down there is actually the cheese board.
Okay.
So I was going to say, instead of going where you wanted to go, no, you would go still to the shiniest thing, but instead of knowing what you're searching for, you seem more enamored by it.
Okay. So off I go. Swim, swim, swim.
Swim, swim, swim. Upon arriving at the cheese board, the bright cheese board, you see wrappings of all the different types of cheeses. You see the Gouda wrappings, of course, and the other types of cheeses. Lady's back up to you in the boat. She's been gone a while.
We probably need to get her out. It's been a while. How long she got?
Would we know that? Is that a medicine thing?
No, you wouldn't have a number in your head of how long someone can hold their breath, I guess. But you'd know that she wasn't the strongest looking person. Didn't have barrel-chested lungs.
She said she'd pull on the reed 3 times when she was back to it, and she's not back to it yet.
No, so we can't even pull her up at this point.
No.
I don't know what we can send down to help her, though.
I think one of us is going to have to go down. And
try some cheese again.
Try putting a glass of water in there.
We're going to land the boat.
Was there any diving equipment for sale at that place?
No, people tend to avoid doing that.
I mean, this is the local rubbish tip. It's not really.
Yeah.
One of us is going to have to go down after her.
Yeah. What's your constitution saving? Or just your constitution?
+4.
No.
Oh, heaps better.
No.
I think this is a terrible idea.
I think the natural conversation is, hey, how good a swimmer are you?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, because often when I go to the beach, I look at the lifesavers and go, what's your constitution?
Well,
and they ask me to leave.
I'm wearing a lot of heavy gear and I don't want to strip off.
How are you stepping away from Freya?
True. I'm a pretty bad swimmer. How are you at swimming?
I taught all of my children and grandchildren to swim. I am a very strong swimmer. And I, without further ado, I just start, putting all of my bags of snacks in my frying pan and my kettle.
Taking off your cast iron pan. That might be a bit too heavy.
And then putting down the teapot and, taking off my cardigans and all of that stuff so that I'm just in my base layers. And I'm like, okay. I was like, we need a backup. We can't even talk to each other.
No, we can't talk to each other because I can't hear. I can hear you. No, I can hear you.
No, you can communicate with me. I can't communicate with you. I can only hear things.
There is no way that I can. Fuck.
She hid it well, most of the time. But behind Rue's attempted mastery of water, there was a great fear. The reflection in the lake did not smile. When she looked at it, all she could picture was what it would see from there. What it had seen, back when. The water was glass, a thin veneer of translucent shimmers, slowly coming to a still. No bubbles rose to the top, her lungs were empty, and the hands that held her down were barely required now that the last moments of her life were drifting free. The ripples above distorted the mirage of colours that should have formed a face. Her widened eyes didn't need to see it anyway, she knew who it was. In betrayal, the water offered silence. But even now, on the lake, as others dove in, she flinched at every sound.
Imagine this. The best pasta sauce you have ever tasted sits abandoned on a plate. Wasted sauce. That is a tragedy. If only you had used Barilla al Bronzo pasta. Its bronze-cut texture holds your sauce and scoops up every last drop. The Italians call that scarpetta. Capture sauce the Italian way. Barilla al Bronzo. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
Choice Hotels gets you more for your money so you can maximize any road trip. Like these road trippers making waffles and eating fresh fruit in their natural habitat. The breakfast area at a Comfort Inn. I just love seeing a vacation maximized in the wild. Check into more. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Well, I'm diving in. I'm using the read that's there existingly as like a guideline, essentially.
Yeah. Follow it down.
I will ask what your constitution is.
+4.
Ooh, okay. So how it works is...
I love it, Corey.
how it works is you take your constitution modifier. So you add 1 to your constitution modifier, and that's the number of minutes you can hold your breath. So you can hold your breath for a few minutes.
Okay. But the alternative is leaving a friend potentially drowning at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, I didn't say it as you've got a choice. I'm saying these are
Facts. Good to know.
boundaries.
Okay. 5 minutes.
I'm just looking at my own reflection.
The water has gone still again, and the ripples have formed back into your beautiful face with your hair.
You didn't want to get your hair wet.
Only room enough for one enamoured person right now.
You swear to God, the reflection winks back at you.
Yeah, and sharing the rest of the platter with it.
Just drop more cheese comes floating past as you see that Rue has pretty much lost her damn mind out here. You go past the edge of the reed, or you get to the edge of the reed. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to make you go past. You can see a light down below, though.
I can see a light down below.
Yes.
And from our experimenting up top, we figured out that I can't communicate back with Thistle, so there's no point in trying to do that.
Also, the light down the bottom is a 20-foot radius. Like, that's a pretty big light.
It's pretty clear that the light's down there. Whether you see anything down there will come up, will depend.
And did I know in advance, that she was lighting up her board before she went down?
No.
Yes, she did. I lit it on the boat.
You lit it on the boat?
Yeah.
Did you?
She had to take the board from us.
We ate
That's
our
why I was
cheese
asking,
and
I couldn't
we
remember.
discussed our plan. While eating cheese, I lit the board up and then we
Okay.
You do know about the glowing cheese board.
Excellent. So the last I saw that, it was with Thistle. So that is what I'm going to dive towards.
All right. On your way down, you hear the same voice that we've already heard. I'm not going to play it again, but you hear this voice sing out to you. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
14 plus 2.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And plus 2 did help. What you do know is that this thing is trying to charm you and trying to make you aware of its shiny wares. But because you've broken free of that, you can also see that Thistle is just sitting in a pile of reasonably tarnished rubbish, holding the cheese board close. And that's it.
That's it, right? Okay. So I'm concerned that she's been down here for a while without air. Knowing that I have almost been charmed, I am looking at her, seeing that she's kind of dazed looking and assuming that she's under the thrall. We're at the bottom, right?
You're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
It would appear that she's at the bottom.
Yeah. All right, I want to swim down towards her and scoop up some of the mud from the bottom and block her ears and block my ears.
That's a great idea.
This sound, it's traveling in a magical form.
Noted. All right. Well, I've just stuffed our ears with mud for no reason. That's fun.
I'm sure that this will really appreciated you coming and jamming some mud in her ears.
Yeah.
Fortunately, she's still so enamored that she doesn't even flinch when you do that.
Okay. I shake her to try and get her senses clear and start dragging her back towards the reed so we can get her some air.
This will give me another wisdom check. See if this knocks you loose.
19.
Oh. Nice.
Plus 2. Isn't that a bad thing? Should I?
No, you've beaten it. It's a good thing to be high.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, I wouldn't know, but I just love it when you say these things.
Anyway, so you are now feeling as though something has tricked you and feeling a little bit angry about that. Straight away, you feel like, hang on a second.
I'm more pissed because my ears are full of mud and it's really uncomfortable.
And the person who's holding you has just shoved mud in your ears and you're angry. But yes, you are both on the bottom.
Great, but we're still here for something. So
Sure.
I'm like, I've shook you and I'm like pointing up to the reed and I'm trying to like pull you that way.
Get air?
To get air?
Yeah, let's do that.
You want to swim back?
Only to the reed and then swim back down. We need air.
You notice that some of the rubbish from this pit is now being shot at you from below. Whether it be an anchor going whistling past, or there are kettles down here. There are all the things I mentioned before, an umbrella, cheese boards. So it's a dexterity saving throw to see whether you manage to dodge what the shiny things is throwing at you. Both of you. How do we go?
7 plus 5, so it's 16.
All right. Now, they don't move too fast because the water will slow things down. Yeah, I know. I just didn't even bother correcting.
My brain put it as a 9, and it was anyway. It doesn't matter.
It was short of the number I offered.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the number you came up with was not, but the number you actually rolled was. So you get hit by one of the anchors right in the ribs.
Oh.
And it's going to take 1 minute's worth of air out of you.
That's
Thistle.
painful.
Yeah. I rolled a 1 plus 2.
Which is 17.
Which is who fucking cares? Which is 17.
Yes, well done. You are also hit. You're hit by one of the cheese boards. And it hits you hard enough that it knocks out the last gasp of air you have.
Shit.
Andy.
So you start floating back down.
Nothing I can do about that.
No. Not really.
Thank God someone came down for me though, right?
Yeah. Rue, back to you on the surface.
A bubble just comes up and bursts my reflection. I'm like, hey!
Still dazzled by your own reflection up the top. Back to the girls down below.
Sorry.
You do see 2 bubbles come to the surface, but it's not going to happen straight after this. They're a fair bit down. But you will eventually see some bubbles of air plop to the surface. Mostly just so I can use the word plop. It's a horrible word.
Can I use my elementalism and send like a breath of air down?
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. Not the worst idea I've ever heard.
Yeah, what's its range?
Because I actually think I have this as well.
5 foot cube. 30 feet.
If you wish, you can try and push some air down below.
Should I push it down through the tube?
I like the idea. But it is a cantrip. You could probably just keep funneling down there.
But we've tied it off.
Yeah, it's getting really hard.
This is the most ridiculous situation.
Rue is blowing air into the tied off tube. It would be useful were anybody near the tube or if the tube wasn't tied off.
Yeah. Okay.
But you don't know that.
And I can't even I can send a message down to, I can send a message to Biddy and just say, hey, if you need air, I'll be blowing it down the tube.
Why would she need to blow air down the tube? It's attached to air.
It's going to stop any water going back up the tube, I guess. It guarantees.
When you do untie the knot, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I had a plan to just... It doesn't matter though. You know what? I love it. Let's go.
You are floating downwards. Biddy, you are running out of air, but you are nearish the reeds.
Am I able to reach, because she started falling away from me, am I able to reach out and like hook an arm under her and
I'll let
carry
you
her
swim
with
back
me?
down and grab her.
Oh, okay. I thought we were like close enough that could be a reaction or something.
No, you got hit by an anchor and you want to go. And while I was getting hit by the anchor, I also reached out and grabbed my friend.
Yeah, fair.
Negative.
Yeah, well, I've got to go. I can't just leave her. How close am I to the reed?
Very.
Okay, I'm gonna pit stop to the reed because I've heard the message and better to go with a full tank of air rather than limited tank of air. I see that it's tied.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I untie it.
Well, I might send down because I know that you can only hear. You can only hear mine, but you can't send a message back. So I might just telepathically say, I will blow down or I will send air at a certain time. I'll send air now.
You
can untie it.
I thought you were just continuously doing it.
This, yeah.
Oh, okay, don't worry then.
Now you're like teasing her. I will send down air in bursts, and if you really need it, maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Well,
I'll just send air the whole time.
So I can see that it's tied in a knot. I undo the knot but leave it bent like a hose, and then
Air is coming out quickly now.
No, it's still bent.
Oh, okay. Why?
I was trying to not let water in.
Yeah.
No, but the air's gonna, I think, override.
It's gonna fine. I untie it.
And air comes out. Oh my God.
And I use it like a snorkel and try and get some air.
Okay, you are able to fill your lungs again.
Thanks.
You have plenty of time.
Yeah.
Great. Thistle.
I swim down to Thistle.
Who's dead?
No. Just ran out of air. I mean, I could start some death saves, but I think she'll actually get you before we need to do that.
Okay.
What do you want to do when you get to her?
blow some air into her lungs and
finally the kissing scene this episode needed.
An episode till someone kisses or kills.
And help her swim up towards the reed.
No problem, and you can both sit there at that reed as long as you wish, but the shiny things is going to keep throwing stuff at you, so you can both give me another dexterity saving throw, please.
Finally. 19 plus 2.
Now that you know what you're dodging, it's not too hard to watch them come up with your shiny light that you put down below, because they glint the entire way. So you dodge rather easily, actually.
Nice. I also used my cheese board to like a bat.
Oh, it's still down there. Or did you bring it with you?
Why would I let it go?
She was holding it reverently.
Quick, we have to save ourselves.
I was holding
and you're
it.
like, I am not letting go of this cheese board. You weren't still enamored by it. So you could have let it go.
It's my fucking life source at this point. I'm like, shit, this is what I brought down to see. I'm not gonna be like...
you probably can't see things as well as being thrown up. You only see them as they get close.
Okay.
But it didn't matter in this situation. Biddy.
I can't just use her roll.
No.
Okay.
Ever.
14 plus 5, which is 19.
Nice.
Can I use your roll, please, with my plus 5? You also dodge something being thrown at you. It's let me have a look at my list of things that could be thrown. Oh, a birdcage. Moving pretty quick surprisingly for a birdcage.
All I know is that we've got nothing useful that we came down here for.
Really looked.
Well, I tried to, then I got enchanted. So I think we need to actually go back down to the canoes.
I wish I'd called them canoes because I struggled saying rowboats.
Oh, to the rowboat.
They're
robots.
canoes now. They're canoes. Catamarans and canoes.
The robots.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. I was like, huh?
Yeah, I know. I struggled with it. You swim back down and you'll both have to make another wisdom check. Wisdom saving throw it was.
17 plus 2.
You have absolutely no problem with this. Are you going to fall for it again?
No.
Thistle, what did you roll?
7 plus.
Well, unless that number's a 8.
Okay, well it's not. It's a. Why am I on repeat? It's a 0.
No, you were like rapping, like you're one of those records.
It's a 0.
No, unfortunately, once again, you are excited by the shiny things.
Okay, it's on you. It's on you, Biddy. You've got to find something useful down here. Otherwise, this is a big waste of fucking time.
You don't hear a word she says because she's unfortunately swimming straight towards the next big shiny thing, which happens to be an old silver-looking chest, an empty treasure chest.
And to be clear,
shiny.
I was just following her because I had no idea what she'd found down here. So I've just thought, yay, cool, we're going over to this chest.
No, but I will say you do already notice that everything is in nice, even piles of things. So you can see that there's the boats with the cheese boards, as we said before. There are the piles of bird cages, anchors. These are the things that are being thrown at you. So you can every now and then you'll also see one of them launch from their pile.
So, do I know that she's been
enchanted?
Thank you. Mysticized, glammed. These are the
I
words
like
coming to my
that.
brain.
Glammed.
And I'm
I like glammed.
These are not.
She's been glammed.
Well, no, but you know she goes straight for a chest. So I guess she could be like, obviously inside the chest.
Okay, I follow her by that logic then. Like, I'm like, oh, cool. This must be what she was after.
And you find an empty chest.
And I look at Thistle. Do I notice now that she's...
She just looks like someone who's found a chest and is like, yeah, look at this cool chest.
Is it a similar look to how I found her when I came down earlier and she was staring at the...
Yeah, I'm
yes.
enchanted.
But that's also what she looked like before. She looks like someone who's gone away for the weekend, up to the valley maybe to check out some of the antique shops. She's antiquing and she's just found that wonderful thing that'll look nice in the corner and gather dust beneath the lamp.
I shake her again.
She can have another wisdom saving throw here just because every now and then you get shook out of it.
My dice letting me down. I need a dice jail. I'm going to do the electronic one. 11 plus 2.
She doesn't snap out of it this time. In fact, she reaches out and looks at another chest. She's trying to find ways to collect them.
Okay.
At this stage, you notice around you the skeletons of people who've clearly been down here before.
Oh, why?
Buried amongst the shiny thing. They're not raising up to attack you.
It wouldn't be the first time, so that's a fair assumption. Okay. So I've noticed that there's piles of stuff.
Yeah.
And you said one of those piles was the canoes and the cheese board.
Yes.
Hubby mentioned Gouda.
You did.
I'm going to leave Thistle for a second and try her again.
She won't go anywhere.
In a minute. She seems happy here. She's not in any immediate danger of anything other than drowning, and I'll come back in a second. And I swim over to the... Oh, if she's occupied, I'm going to take her flashlight cheese board.
Sure.
But I'll be back in a second.
Fair
She
enough.
seems
Fair
happy.
enough.
Yeah, just leave her in the darkness.
That makes sense.
You'll find her.
Why do you say it like that? You said she's not going anywhere.
And I'm sure you won't get confused down here.
That's why I was going to take the light, so I didn't get confused.
You won't.
That sounds ominous.
No, she can keep it then. I'll just swim in the dark.
I'm not making the choice.
I know. I don't.
Don't let him get to you like that.
You want to phone a friend?
Stacy.
Is that your final answer?
Take the torch.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. If I die, I die. There's bigger fish to fry.
Speaking of bigger fish, no.
All right, I'm sticking with my guns. No comments from the peanut crowd. We're gonna... I don't know what that saying actually means.
Did we ever really listen to him before we end up as gods? So follow our journey.
Okay. True. I'm swimming over to the canoes in the cheese section, and I've got my little torchlight, and I am investigating. I'm looking for any signs of things that might seem like something Hodges had left me. Anything that screams Gouda. Secret message.
You may roll with advantage.
Okay. One, I get to re-roll one, so I can re-roll that.
You rolled a 1 already?
Yeah, but I get to re-roll it because I'm
How many times do you get to do that?
Just the once, and then I have to accept what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, but then I still get a second roll because of advantage.
Yes.
Okay. 18. And...
That will be enough, but I mean, I guess
12.
if you rolled a 20, we could do something else. But with an 18, what you do notice
18
underneath...
plus what? Oh yeah, what am I adding to this? Investigation. Ooh! Plus 0, continue.
So disappointing.
That was so worth the diversion. I was like, the 18 will be enough unless you've got like -4, which I doubted you had.
Okay, carry on.
So you do notice that, strangely, there is a pile of cheese wrappings, and they all say they're all Gouda wrappings. And you dig through those, and beneath that, you find a chest that is closed, locked even. The other ones are intentionally unlocked. Something has been inside those ones. This one looks like one that was hidden.
I love that my husband has the same brain as me, because I wanted to hide the worm under a pile of leaves, and he's hidden the chest under a pile of
He's like,
cheese
whenever you
wrappers.
hide things, don't put it under much. just some wrappings or some leaves. It will be
Okay.
enough to divert everybody.
Locked by key. And so I've tried it, and it's clearly locked.
Yes.
Because we've done that mistake before.
Yeah, it's not even a very big one.
The chest?
Yes.
Oh, could I carry it with help if I unmesmerized?
Not even with help. You'd be able to do that by
Okay, cool.
yourself.
I lift it and I start swimming towards
bring it up.
Thistle, and I smack her across the face with her light paddle.
Have another wisdom saving throw. We'll see if that...
At advantage, though. That's a big shock.
No.
Oh, okay.
Come on, man.
Not even a crotch roll?
No. I love crotch rolls because Corey would never check.
This campaign, I've decided I will check with the camera.
You got a camera directly above her?
Yep.
Just
With
like
her charge.
Very awkward.
There's one in the toilet too.
This is why we don't play at your house.
Doesn't matter. Still enamored. Don't worry about me.
Still enamored by the shiny things.
All right.
Just keep doing it.
Well, you won't be able to do it for much longer. Let's say that.
I'm gonna try and out-strength her and drag her up against her will, I guess. If she's
Okay.
still enamored.
Yeah, I'm only a little fairy. Like, I'm tiny. I'm light.
Yeah, I'm a halfling.
She's a halfling. She's
That's strong.
I am strong though.
she's probably stronger than you, but she's smaller than you. Give me a strength check. We'll see
Okay.
how well you manage
I'm
to
only
drag her out
5
of
feet.
here.
How tall are you?
3'3".
Not that bad.
Okay, what did you roll?
I rolled a 1, which means I get to re-roll it, which is what my ha was.
How many times a day do you get to do that?
Forever and always. Every single D20 I roll for anything.
That's insane.
I know.
And smart.
And lucky, as long as we don't start rolling twos.
It's called lucky.
Yeah.
I rolled a 2 earlier. All right. Come on. Strength. It's a 3.
Damn it.
I did request a 2.
Plus 4.
She is surprisingly heavy, and then it's because you realise she won't let go of the chest.
Yeah. Okay.
A chest.
Have you got
That's
any
not
kind
how I
of...
meant that. It was actually a clue.
was only
Can
your
you believe that?
pause.
When I give a clue that's so obvious, you guys go, he's talking about boobs again. I was saying...
Corey loves boobs.
Or he does, but Corey likes chest.
Boobs are great.
Thank you. Corey was thinking If you use the other chest that you've just been given, she's enamored by chests.
Oh, I assumed it was a particular chest that
And
she
the
was.
other type.
Yeah.
So you could maybe give her the other one to move her.
You need to be very clear what you're talking about now.
All right. So I can't outstrength her. I can't snap her out of it. She's absolutely mesmerized by this chest and not mesmerized by her paddle of light anymore. I hold the locked chest that I'd picked up earlier in front of the one she's staring at.
Yes.
And I like wave it and I'm like trying to, and then I move it away from the other one to see if her eyes follow it.
They do, because obviously a closed chest would be more interesting than one that is.
Sweet. I'm going to use that to lure her back to the surface.
Consider me lured.
I would probably suggest that you might stop over at the bubbling reed for a quick touch up.
Well, they might just hang on to it. Or is it not strong enough for them to...
Just going to hang on to it.
Pull them up.
How would you know to?
Because the air stopped.
Oh, hold on.
Because they said tug 3 times.
Yeah. And so Thistle said that to me and I told you that that's what she planned to do.
Mm-hmm. I knew about the tugging.
So when we get into the reed, we use that secret code.
Don't look at me like that. I love that Lana is trying to hold it together as you sit over there doing tuggings.
So we use that secret code and wait to see
the 3 tug code.
If she understands it.
Say it, Lana.
I'm not. We established what we're talking about. We are all good.
For whatever reason, the reed bounces up and down 3 times. And Rue, how strong are you?
Oh, I'm not too strong.
Yeah, that's you
I got a +2.
I mean, you can just swim the rest of the way. You're full of
But I
air.
could try.
Okay.
I might have a burst of energy.
Give it a roll and see if you can pull both of them up.
I mean, I've been pretty fucking useless in this situation. I think I might try and help here. And I'm not going to with a 5.
You start to pull the reeds up and they come apart in your hands. They were only barely held together. Yeah. But the other 2 notice pretty quickly that the air doesn't work anymore. But they make it to the surface and break free. And Rue, as you go back to looking down after realizing the reeds don't do their job anymore after you broke them, you are seeing yourself in the reflection again. But instead, this time you see the 2 faces and the chest coming to the surface.
Awesome. And I'm going to reach over and grab the chest to help them. And help them get out of the water.
Excellent. You are in the boat, and surprisingly, the thing beneath doesn't bother with you.
And the state of the charming?
As you got further away, it wore off more and more until once you're in the boat, you don't even have to fight her to get the chest out of her hands or anything like that.
I was just picturing me like trailing it just in front of her, the whole swim up, being like, come on, just a little bit further.
I think so.
Now
you're back in the boat.
We've got to unlock this thing.
And I think that's what we need the special key for.
Don't
we need to go find a locksmith?
Yeah. We've got a keymaster coming up at you, Fataki.
Yes, but that was for a different purpose.
What was that
for a different purpose?
Oh,
to
the
get into the vault.
Oh, sorry.
But
Okay.
like a keymaster's not a bad idea for this issue either.
It could help if we haven't figured it out by then.
Is there a key attached to it? You know, sometimes people are dumb and they they put the key just...
Oh, they tape it on the
tether
bottom?
it or something? Yeah, can we just...
There is.
Seriously?
Really?
It obviously wasn't the only reason it was locked was to stop whatever it is down there from emptying it and just adding itself to the pile, so they didn't really have to worry. This thing down there is
did we
not...
actually...
Oh my God.
look for a key and are going to use the key as opposed to just smashing shit?
You have a choice. You can smash open this thing or just use the key.
There for
We'll
us.
just use the key.
So let's use the key.
Yeah, we're grown, we've changed, we've evolved.
Wow.
Inside...
We are girls who do D&D.
We've figured it out.
Girls who do D&D and use keys. A locked chest.
Asterisks.
Sometimes.
With an asterisk.
Occasionally.
On occasion.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
I'm Cindy Lauper with fellow Cosentix advocate, Chef Michelle Bernstein.
We'll share our experiences with plaque psoriasis, with psoriatic arthritis, and Dr. Panico will talk about the possible connection.
Cosentix secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis 300 milligram dose and adults with active psoriatic arthritis 150 milligram dose. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like tuberculosis or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur.
Learn more at 1-844-COSENTIX or Cosentix.com/Cindy.
There are 3 things inside the chest. The first is a small necklace with a silver fish at the end of it.
Love it.
The second is the hilt of a sword. It's a broken sword, but you would recognize the hilt as being part of a sword you knew from the past, the sword of deception. And the third one is a broken walking stick. It's been recarved a little bit. You can see that it's been carved, but you recognize it from the past as well. And underneath all of that, there is a note. That's all.
And we
And the
read
note
the
says-
note.
Do you all read the note? You're going to read it out loud?
Yeah, read it out loud.
I feel like Biddy should read
Do
it.
you read it out loud, or are you just going to, this is just for you?
Gather round, children.
I don't know. Hope he doesn't say
It gets
anything
real,
too
it gets real filthy.
raunchy.
really quickly. He's like, and you know what else I love?
Boobies.
Chess. Yeah. All right.
My dearest love, I knew you would remember our old code. More of a safe word, really, but I felt you would not have forgotten it. I also knew you would quickly realize we have never been here together. How clever you are. Unless you didn't figure out, you crazy thing. I'm so sorry for what I have put you through.
Aww.
But I have good news, or at least some good news. I hope you haven't moved on too quickly, for my death is not yet assured. As you know, there are no ways to get messages inside the celestial prison, unless that message defies the laws of the living. Nothing stops a death note. That is why I risk death to find you. I have given myself to the League of Immortal Investigations, where I have been placed in a state of slow decay. If another note finds you, only then will you know I have fully perished. In the meantime, I have gifts for you and your friends, things that have power, but not enough to draw the attention of the others. You must do as the Timeless asks. Only then will we be able to begin to clear your names. I wish I had more help to offer, but I fear I have stretched this deathly bond as far as I can. With love, always.
And he signs it Sir Hodges, even though he has a first name.
Sir.
Sir.
Yeah. Is his first name. Sir Hodges.
He wasn't actually knighted.
Like
It was just
major.
Yeah.
Wow. So he's the League of Immortal Investigations, slowly decaying. We'll only know if he's dead. We get another letter, but in the meantime, he's given us these things that are untraceable.
It just means these are not as powerful as other things you might have had in the past, because clearly if the gods are watching you again to see if you break any more laws, they're going to look for some superpowers.
Okay. Cool.
But in the meantime, now he's left those 3 things. What would you like to do with them?
We all need to take our, which one connects to us, I think.
Sure.
Well, what are they?
Well, the small fish is going to go to previously.
Moi.
Yeah, the thistle Karin.
When you put the necklace on, you do notice it's a special... I mean, you've already got a necklace, you were saying before, an amulet.
Yeah.
So this one can either be attached to it. This has 3 different pendants on it, actually. The biggest one is the fish, who you would remember, because in the past you had a special icon, a living creature. It is Douglas, but in a different form. Douglas, the translating fish. This is not the living creature, but it can still translate for you. So you can now understand multiple languages.
Okay.
There is also a little bear, a little pendant of a bear, on there.
And a bear as well.
There's a chair.
Giveaway games.
And I have the stories to tell. So
Worked out so well.
I got there eventually. No, there's just a bear, and you have no real understanding of why there's a bear, and also there's a sunflower.
Oh, love it. Huge fan. I'm actually not going to put it around my neck. I'm going to wrap it twice around my wrist to make it a bracelet instead.
Okay.
Just to keep it there. Keep it in my... I don't want to overshadow my amulet. So it's now a bracelet, double wrapped. The end.
Okay.
Roll credits.
And that's where we end our episode.
No one else gets anything?
Nah.
Throws the chest back over the side. That was good.
And none for Gretchen Wiener.
What about the other things?
Well, Biddy, you'll probably grab the broken walking stick.
I assume
Should
so.
be your
Yep.
staff.
Yep.
You'll notice it has been... It's interesting because it's now the right size for a halfling. But in the past, you had a staff that was broken into many pieces.
Yep.
And one of those pieces was given to somebody. And you'll notice if you look down when this thing has been repolished and recarved in some way, down the side is scratched the name Alan.
Aww.
When you put that on, when you pick that up and it's in your hands, you feel its power surge through you.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, it's been recarved in a way that makes you feel that it has different powers assigned to it. So it can do 3 things, and it can only do one of these things per day. The first is, if you need it to, it can be used as a pogo stick,
Yeah.
That's so cool.
which allows you to double your speed for 1 round.
Oh, so not jumping speed.
Speed. Doesn't get you much higher. Let's just, it could, but as a halfling, it's not going to get you to a point that someone else couldn't otherwise get to.
Okay.
Or it can double your dexterity modifier for 1 round if you are using it for balance.
Oh, okay.
And the last one it can do is it can double your strength modifier for 1 round if you are using it as a lever.
Okay.
Oh, very cool. Good settings.
It's got a little switch on the side with 3 settings.
Yeah.
Rue, you found the hilt of a sword, and yes,
Yep.
it is recognizable.
Well, I've recognised that the sword hilt is part of the sword of deception.
Yeah, a
so-
sword you used to own, yeah.
The sword I used to own, yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it clearly hasn't got a blade anymore.
Yeah, so I'm going to pick that up and see what happens.
Maybe it could deceive you into thinking it has a blade.
It just says hi.
Hi.
Oh.
Did you miss me?
I missed you every day, mate.
Oh.
Also, nice power move last campaign.
Sorry I had to lie to you a little bit, but,
I knew what was going on. Want someone to help me figure it out.
It gives you a spell that you now can cast. And you feel this as, well, let's be honest, the sword actually describes itself to you. You would not believe what I've learned, and also the difficulty I've had getting to here. But it's a long story. I'll explain it to you if you wish, but long story short, Sir Hodges and the Great Librarian, they figured out that they could probably give you a message, but the Great Librarian tried to manipulate Sir Hodges, and he decided to try and trick her as well, so that's why he hid this here. So she used him to help you get out, and then he used this place to help us get everything back together, so you might have a chance of stopping everything she's trying to cause or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know. I don't know. I'm just a sword. But in the meantime, I've learned a new trick.
Tell me your trick.
I have the skill of suggestion, and I can plant a thought in someone else's mind
Yes, you can.
because I like to deceive.
You love suggestion. Love it.
And so you can suggest to someone else through the sword a course of action, once per day, a course of action that would seem reasonable. You can't say to someone, I would now like you to jump off that cliff face, but you can give it a single phrase and they will, if they fail their wisdom saving throw, they will, unfortunately, do the thing they're told to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
Okay. Well, I think we've got what we came here for, so I think we need to make our way back to hopefully the Inchworm if it's still there and continue travelling north.
You row back to the shoreline, and it is getting a little later in the afternoon, but there's still lots of people here. And you do notice that the Inchworm has left. As the Dreadlock said to you before, he said that it gets you this far, and then you have to find your way across to he mentioned how you get across.
Yeah.
You can actually see him. He's lining up the next part of this journey, and that's the cable car that crosses this lake. And you can see it heading off towards the Rumbles. That is the beautiful mountain range. It's absolutely magnificent range in the distance. And right to the back of that, or as part of that, you see one mountain is clearly larger than the others. And the jutting edges look more like a face than any of the other mountains.
You fussy.
No.
Okay. The Grudge.
The Grudge.
The Grudge, yeah.
The Grudge. Right, yeah, we better get on that cable car.
Let's get on that cable car.
You make your way over to the cable car, and there's a guy working there who he looks a little bit out of place. He's nervously trying to get people loaded onto this thing, but I don't know.
Hello there, I'm Brian from Texas, and I play Halliston, the very recently employed operator of the Rumble Range Cable Car Corporation. Okay, I think I've got this. First customers of the day. Nice to meet you. Where are you from? I'm from Uwe Fasiake. Oh, don't worry. Nobody knows how to say it, especially not us locals. It's my first day on my own today. I'm very excited. Yay! Technically, I was on my own a bit yesterday too after Smonson quit. Well, I say quit, but he just didn't come back after his lunch break. Said he was going for a swim. Who'd swim in that? It should be freezing, but it isn't. That's crazy. Crazy and you know what? It's just crazy. Anyway, tickets?
So he's asking for our tickets.
Yeah.
I'm just going to plant something in his mind that we've already got tickets.
Well, you were quick to use that, weren't you?
Yeah, well, obviously, you just gave it to me. So clearly it was for something like this.
I was like, I wonder how they'll solve this because they never have tickets or money or anything else like that. So I'll put that before them.
No.
So it is a wisdom check for him.
And in his mind, he's just going to see 3 tickets appear.
I didn't even have a stat thing for him, so I'm giving him fairly standard stat level to see if he beats this.
Mm-hmm.
He does not. And he just walked, come on this way. And maybe it doesn't hurt. He also looks at your hair for far too long.
Love this hair combo, this hair bit.
And he opens up this cable car. It looks a bit rickety and offers you entrance.
And on we get.
We're all good? We're all happy to not check it? Okay. Don't check it. Just get on. He shuts the door behind you. It's got very rusty bolts on the edge and everything like that. And it starts to pull away from the station and make its way up the side. Well, across the lake first. And you see, you're the first one for the afternoon. There were lots of people trying to get ready to go.
Oh, I thought there was a bunch of people that went on ahead of us because of the line.
They were in the line. You pushed to the front of the line.
Oh. Why did we push to the front of the line?
She cast suggestion on him. He let you go.
I didn't realise that.
Oh, I thought this was just our turn. Like we'd lined up and then that was our interaction once we got there.
No. I just said, what would you like to do? So you pushed in front of those people when you were the first one of the afternoon. He said that it was just first day and it was
cool. And that we've got a missing co-worker who went swimming and never came back.
Yeah, which are, is reasonably common around here.
Yeah.
As you noted when you were down there. It starts to clink and clank across this lake. You can see the lake below you, very, very deep. You see a little sparkle at the bottom. You hear thunder rumbling in the distance, and the car squeaks as the metal scrapes across more metal. The wind is starting to howl as you get further up. You cross the lake reasonably easily, and it starts to make its way towards the next part of the mountain, higher and higher. The distance to the ground starts to fade as the fog starts to roll in. Suddenly there is a squawk and a laugh, and the side of the cable lurches as the body of a Griffaborough slams into it.
Ooh. You set that up very well, though.
Set what up?
The Griffaborough. Like you told us where they lived, and we just went, tra-la-la.
I know, and I've even said 2 more places that you haven't checked out. The Rumbles and the Grudge.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to the Grudge, aren't we? Yeah, he meant the book.
Yeah.
We didn't ask the book for information. We just went
Sometimes
with it.
there's information.
I forgot about the fucking book. Again, I even wrote down things we have. The books, read the books. But it means reading my own things to remember to read the things.
Now, there is some fortune, though, I guess, because the fog gets thicker and thicker and the Griffaborough can't find you anymore. But you start to hear whispers in the fog, sounds. Can everyone give me a wisdom check, please?
I don't want to.
No, you have been rubbish at them so far.
Yeah.
I think you're going to come good.
14 plus 2.
Oh, also 14 plus 2.
Wisdom, you say?
Uh-huh.
17 plus 1.
All 3 of you do hear a voice from your past, but you have been successful. So all 3 of you hear a sentence, but a joyous one. I want you to think back into your backstories a bit to a time where something went right for you, somebody said something to you that maybe, or said something to the characters you were playing, said something that pushed you in this positive direction of life. What did you hear?
Okay, I'm going to hear like a friend, a really close friend, or like a sister-like friend that says, even without your wings, you are loved, you are special, and you are one of us.
Oh, that's lovely. And like a sister-like or a sister or a sister-like friend?
I feel like, again, I'm building a backstory.
Yeah.
And sisters aren't necessarily born to your family. They're decided before in the cosmos, and then you find each other in your fairy realm.
Right, so not a blood relative, but
like a spiritual, sisters in the fairy world are spiritual. They find each other and they actually all live together.
Okay.
In like sisterly, I don't know, hives, trees.
Bond.
Yes, it's a bond.
Older, younger?
She's older.
She's older,
I look
an
up
older
to her.
sister. Yeah, cool.
So her words mean a lot. She's an older spirit, so her reassurance that I am, regardless of having my wings ripped away, it's for some reason. We don't know.
We don't know.
No one knows. I don't know.
You don't know
Do
where
you know? I don't.
Well, you should. It's your backstory.
Her support and acceptance of me as part of our sisterhood is encouraging to me and makes me feel like I can still do whatever a fairy does anyway.
I hear the mouseling that saved me after I'd been punished. And I hear the mouseling say, not all those who are punished do bad things. I can see who you are and what you are trying to achieve, and that's why we've crossed paths. Aww. And it's like I'm remembering why I try and help people and why I try and do what I do.
You also feel fantastic. I must say, if you'd rolled poorly, this wouldn't have been great either. You can imagine you would have got disadvantage for the rest of the day, but you have advantage on D20 rolls until the next long rest. Lana. Biddy, I should say.
Biddy hears the voice of her first granddaughter when she was older at her wedding, and in her toast she thanked Biddy for her unconditional love and support.
And you will also have advantage on all D20 rolls until the next long rest. With these words swarming in your minds and feeling rather good about the situation, you can hear behind you, the Dreadlock is in one of the other characters. He's singing away into the mountains. It's echoing through the hills.
I'll still be here when night comes.
And then there's another bang as the Griffabara has found you again and smashes into the side of your cable car. Bounces away for a second though, and then squawks as if trying to get away from something. And that's when lightning strikes your cable car. It's almost like the Griffabara knew it was coming. But then you hear the unmistakable sound, the apparently unmistakable sound, since I guess no one's really probably heard this too often, of metal snapping. And the cable car begins to swing violently towards the mountain, as though on a pendulum. I just thought I'd throw that into the end for no particular reason.
What as a pendulum swings.
And that's where we end this episode.
Like the screaming
Just
of the...
this one long
I love
scream
that.
until our next episode.
Great. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this note with falling
to crash into mountain
falling
and
to
die.
horrific death in mountain.
Very short episode next time.
Don't bother coming back. Not going
got
to
it
be
from here.
alive.
What I do want to know, because it'll help me plan forward, is what are you interested in finding out about your characters?
About our characters?
Yeah, what part of your backstory did you allude to today that you think should go further?
Well, we've hinted at the fact that Biddy has quite an extensive family. I'd be curious to explore why it is that she's left her family.
I'm curious to find out what kind of, like what village or town that Rue grew up in.
Okay.
I want to know who took my wings.
Oh, I think we all want to know who took those wings.
Who took my wings?
We'll see you next month. No, we won't. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Got to get used to that.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds
fortnightly.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks.
Bye.
Don't worry about them. I'm sure they'll be fine. It's just a sudden ending. It happens all the time. So maybe there's danger or just a clever line. But don't worry about them. I'm sure they'll be fine. Right?
You've been listening to a Legend of Loot production.